Oh, hi! Welcome to the year 2005. In fact, precisely 20 years ago, because we're starting off in the middle of June 2005. I am once again joined on the line by Aaron Axsmith. Hello, Aaron.
Hi, Chris Vangelis. Chris.
Thank you. Actually, my middle name is Daniel.
Okay.
But I also would like to say hello to everyone I currently see in the text chat. That's Simeon Scott, Cliff, Long was here, Adam Rockmore, Champion of Braves, Griff, Oma Ender, Fish Pop, Lee Kalba, and Ali Convoy. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the news. Me and Aaron were talking about the big Cliffjumper news. Just having a little gab and a laugh about funny circumstances. Hey there, Ninjatron. Aaron, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Had a long week already, and it's only Thursday. Had a pretty fun storm come through yesterday with all kinds of warnings going off to phones and hitting every internet connected device saying tornadoes, yo.
Yeah, that was fun. Because I was like, hey, I need him for a stream. Do not flip his house over.
Yeah,
it's been funny weather. We've been having funny random fun weather. I understand folks in the UK are having another heat wave that their entire country does not have the infrastructure to deal with again. So, many shouts out to our UK friends amidst many others. We're going to be talking about some of the news. Before we do, I do want to throw a quick plug that we also both are on Extra Life raising money for the kids, and the QR code is in this scene now. Look at that. It just appeared right above Aaron's name over there. It's in the browser scene too, so I duplicated it. If you do, kick in some funds, we have all kinds of fun little goals on our pages. Aaron's main one is raising a lot of money in order to sit down and, for everyone's viewing pleasure, hate watching Dahir InShot.
Yeah.
That's the nightmare that awaits if Aaron is truly gold star successful at raising money this year. But we are going... Yeah, God dares try to interrupt your... I sent a letter, a stern email. I was like, we have news diving to do. We only have so much time before TFCon Toronto happens. Yeah, Lee, I saw you mention elsewhere you got heat advisories going on. We got air quality warnings over here in Toronto because of wildfire fun. Wildfires are just a thing that happen now, By the way, while we're talking, just a quick volume check with the folks. I set us around about what we were at last time, so ideally that's coming through clearly. I'm going to switch over to our browser feed just to get right into it. I don't have it loaded up, so apologies Long was here, but if you do want to buy some toy hacks, or you're already going to do it anyway, the code is Demivangelus. But ideally, you already know that, because it's like, I posted it on community here. It's a stuck post on my Blue Sky. It's all over the place. Where is TFCon Toronto being held this year? Strider 4, same as always, at the Meadowvale Hotel, just outside of Toronto, in Mississauga. It is sort of airport proximity, but yeah, it's always there in Toronto. Aaron, you still good to come out?
Sort of airport proximity. As memory serves, if you're on one side of the building, you can watch them land all night.
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
If you have your window even slightly open, you can listen to them land all night.
Yeah, it's kind of, sort of. I think it's not as close as the LA venue is to the Burbank airport.
Oh, no, not at all. The LA venue is basically at the Burbank airport. It's a short walk to.
But yeah, Aaron, are you still good to make it out to Toronto?
Yes, I am.
Hell yeah. We've been chatting with mutuals. We're all, there's lots of like auxiliary activities, extracurriculars that happen at TFCon, and we once again we're all kind of starting to churn on how we're gonna get in at least one game of Commander Magic: The Gathering. And that's pretty exciting, because I just updated my Transformers decks. I put Suplex into Optimus Prime, because it's canon.
Yeah, I need to put Cloud Midgar Mercenary into the Captain America deck, and the Moogle that gives stuff away into the Zedru Badgest deck.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was another one that was going to be a good donor, or a good upgrade into decks.
Yeah. But we got our Fortnite-style Magic decks all coming together.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're also going to be doing hopefully, it seems likely that we're going to be doing a panel related to the news of the year 2005. So I'm also going to hurl us headfirst into that. We ended last time with the gigantic email response from Brian Savage to one person.
Yeah.
So that was pretty funny. And then we're kicking right into the just toy picks that we can't really see. Cybertron Galvatron was coming out around this point. I remember that being a hot toy at Botcon 05. There was like one or two in the dealer room. The eHobby Wheelie repaint has been revealed to be Dion. Someone mentioned that, I think, when the previous news item said, I wonder who Wheelie's going to be. There's new Transformers merchandise at HotTopic.com. I wonder if they still sell it at Hot Topic storefronts. I'm going to...
The links don't work, but I'm sure... I don't know. The last few times we've gone into Hot Topic looking for Stitch from Lilo and Stitch stuff, I don't know if I've seen Transformers in a while.
I haven't been to a Hot Topic in about a year and a half.
You're not really missing much. A bunch of blind boxes, Funko Pops, because you can't sell things now without also selling Funko Pops.
Yeah. The Hot Topic at one point for like a week was the best place to just find packs of Disney Lorcana, if you were looking for those. I don't know if they still are. But you know what I know is on June 15th, 2005, legendary website Cybertron.ca, the Canadian-only website, launched. I still have an account on there. Sometimes I look in the Ontario sightings threads to see if anyone says the word Dufferin.
I still get happy birthday emails from Cybertron.ca.
Oh, yeah,
on or about my birthday.
I get some from those. I used to get some from like a micro RC cars website I signed up for in the 2000s for a long time. Oh, Cypher, hello. You got a really nice Ron Mahaff tee at Hot Topic a few months back. Yeah, I walked past the one in the Eden Center, and they had like a big clearance sale, and I almost went in to look to see if card packs were on clearance, but they were not. Well, no, they weren't. They might have been. I just didn't go in because I had a headache. Ooh, test shots being pulled from eBay. It looks like all those test shots, looks like Hasbro Legal's cracking down. That's never going to happen again. Leaks like that, done.
Mm-hmm.
In the summer of 2005, they closed the pipe. Robot Masters Galaxy Force websites. The Toys R Us Alternators 2-pack is Smokescreen and Sideswipe. I forgot this thing exists. I'm assuming it's just repacks. TFW does not sanction dangerous acts such as racing your alternators down busy interstates. Do so at your own discretion. Thank you, Chris Kickback, for writing that one.
Man, I don't know if I remember Alternators 2-packs.
Oh, hey, Volkaisis.
Unless they were like we've taped two of them together.
Yeah, Volkaisis was saying, weren't these just shrink wrapped together? Okay, that tracks. Because I was going to say, I don't remember like a bespoke Alternators 2-pack packaging ever happening, but yeah. Was it a Toys R Us though? Weird, because that sounds like a Costco ass kind of thing to do.
Yeah.
Palisades SDCC exclusive Megatron statue available early to club members only. Cool. The only leaks here are ones in my kitchen. Shia, you need to get a plumber to fix that. Big news on Star Optimus Prime. Sorry, huge reissue Star Convoy production info. One of the hardest to look at this in the year 2005. Star Convoy, one of the hardest to acquire figures for high rolling Transformers collectors, and then we ruined it all.
Mm-hmm.
No, it turns out he may be one of the hardest reissues to find as well. That's not true. That didn't happen. According to Image Anime, he's going to be a made-to-order figure, so only one production run. Whether or not that was true, I don't think that reissue was terribly hard to find for several years. It may eventually have become harder to find.
I got one at one point in time for like less than MSRP, I remember. Was it Big Bad? There was somebody that had a significant sale, and I picked it up, and I was thoroughly whelmed by Star Convoy.
Yeah.
I thought, like, oh man, the way that everybody talks about it, this must be the, like, most awesomest thing ever. And it was, like, it's neat, but he, like, transforms by kind of falling over.
Valkysis says BBTS had those for $80 even in the mid-teens. I wonder if it really was made to order and then Big Bad just ordered like 5 million of them. And
yeah. Battle Unicorn did not do us wrong. Let's do this again.
Simeon Scott using the term high roller with toy collecting has such take me seriously energy. In the aughts, there was...
Yeah.
In the aughts, there was, I think, more of a concept of a high rolling Transformers collector because you'd have... You know, not to like just name drop the same guy over and over again because he's perfectly fine as far as I'm aware, but you'd have like your Tony Prito at a Botcon with, 18 lucky draw things where the price is, if you're asking, it's too much for you. And that's kind of, that's tapered off a little bit. Target's 10th anniversary. What the hell is it? Was Gigawatt something from the 2000s I don't remember anymore?
I don't know.
Anyway, Trans Beast Wars 10th Anniv, $14.99. Nobody knows what it is. Currently, people think it might be Robot Masters Optimus Primal, maybe a versus pack of Robot Masters Primal versus Beast Megatron. Some think it's a DVD. One poor fellow thinks it's all a joke. Oh wow, all caps. Awesomeness! Getting really...
Isn't this the like reissues that came with parts of it was like the Build-A-Figure.
Transmutate. It might have been. I'm sorry, I'm like reading Kickback maybe not even under the influence of exhaustion and Diet Pepsi at the time of this news post. Like I felt like the Kickback news posts were tapering off as well a little bit by now, and it's like he's coming back with a vengeance as the summer like kicks in. Ali Convoy, I think white people used to say it. I don't know, like, seeing it written out feels foreign to me entirely. Oh, Cypher saying it was the Transmutate ones. Okay.
Yeah. I just looked it up. Yeah, that came out in 2006. They were Cheetor, Dinobot, Rat Trap, Rhinox, Tarantulas, and Waspinator.
Yeah, I had like one or two of those, I think. I never finished that Transmutate Build-A-Figure. Alternators Prowl not coming to the UK. My apologies, everyone. Concept art from Don Figueroa. Rejected concept art from a third G.I. Joe Transformers crossover. I know I've seen these before, but there's so much leftover Don Figueroa art, it's hard to know precisely which ones he may be talking about. Griff says Gigawatt appears to be a Jay-Z reference. Okay. The year 2005. It is the year. The Funny World update. This is going to taper off very quickly, if I recall correctly. Transformers.com updates. Them Funny Robots update. Transformers Cybertron Metroplex? Alas, it appears he is a city bot no more. Instead, judging by his enormous weapon, it seems he transforms into a kind of giant digging machine, complete with Minicon. I don't remember the initial view we got of Cybertron Metroplex. But this was also the beginning of the saga of, like, being told about giant planet guys having, like, you know, the double robot modes, and then kind of the show not doing it, and then the toys only kind of doing it when they weren't Metroplex. All three of them could do it. It's just the other two, their short guy modes were not nearly as impressive to look at.
Yeah, their tall guy modes were like, oh man, I finally got that pop out of my back. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that's better. All right, yeah, now I can stand upright and not be all hunched over. Hey,
wasn't the orange mixing truck guy? Wasn't it literally just like he had Figart's hips and you pulled them down to make him normal size and squished them up to make him short or something?
I remember something like that.
Yeah. Metroplex had really cool stuff going on for that whole system. It's a shame it like never got anything ever. It was kind of up to your imagination. It's almost like a preview of what would, you know, become Transformers 20 years later with the collector lines of like, look at all these ideas we have. There's no show. Have fun. Hasbro brands and characters come to life at the Licensing 2005 International event. I wonder if that press release is still there. That would be really funny. It's not still there.
Nope. Play-Doh and Barbie, dream it, design it. Play-Doh getting all the cool hit crossovers now.
Wait, is that current?
Yes.
Wow.
The thing that I clicked on like takes you to just like Hasbro's front page. Shop.hasbro.
Okay. I just looked at like the preview in my tab and I just saw like modern website. In packaging images. Yeah, I keep forgetting like Mattel is just like, and Hasbro are both like, I don't know, let's work together. The whole industry is shrinking. Cybercon Expo 2005. Cybertron updates of stuff that's coming out. The Funny World updates again. A double update. TFW interviews Dan Taylor publishing editor of IDW, does this interview... Oh, it's a board link. Well, we were wondering
if
if we'd
starting to get into the era where sometimes it shows up on the way back.
We were wondering if we'd see a zombie Optimus. And hey, there was a sport about some certain Simon Furman favorite Transformer was going to appear early on in the series.
Yes, we do have. God, why did you? It's there, but it's like black on dark black because some backing image didn't load on way back. Alterna chat. Where artst thou alterna chat?
I'm getting in it.
Paste. Bam.
Oh, right before I go there, Ali Convoy got us a link on unused concept art. So this is okay. I remember these. This is showing up, right? Yeah. I recall these drops. I'm actually surprised these never got picked up with the advent of unofficial toys going wild.
Yeah, need to start sharing them a ton. If you know your back channel people.
What's a back channel for? That's a cool Starscream. Dang. Oh, I remember. Yeah, the hand grenade ones. I remember these too. Was some of this not related to like the crossover one where like they had lots of designs, but then the art was the Jay Lee art or whatever? So it was like this level of detail was kind of unnecessary.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, Cobra Bruticus. Whoa. Okay, that's... I like this. This is like a really wide Superion. People have been kind of getting on new Superion for being kind of beefy, and it's like, well, check this out.
What if we took his width and doubled it? Look at how many propeller blades we can fit on this thing.
He even was working on a cover. Damn, I forgot about this. Sergeant Slaughter in a spacesuit is really funny because he's wearing his hat in the spacesuit. This is... Okay, we're back to the start now. That was way more than I remember there being. Yeah, oh yeah, Cypher, yeah, no, I mean, I'm thinking of the early era when it was just like grab bagging at whatever designs were floating around. I'm surprised a lot of these like slipped by the consciousness at the time. Yeah. Hey, guess what? Don Figueroa did a lot of work above and beyond the Call of Duty and did not get compensated well enough for it. Like, at all. Anyway, next up. Very quickly, we've also got quick mixes, short and tall modes. So, as you can see, literally just his hips slide down, and then they slide up, down, and then up.
And he, like, flipped his arms over.
Oh.
Like, that's the other thing.
Yeah. I wish I could... I wonder if they did any, like, stock footage for those two. Because I know you could see hints of 2 stock footage sequences when Metroplex transforms the first time in Galaxy Force. Like, they were gonna... They had something happening on the animation side for it. Yeah, the shoulders go with the hips too. Yep. And we printable version. Someone told me there's a trick to make this invert on one of the last streams, and now I forgot what the trick was. Oh, there was like a not because I'm just gonna highlight it all like this, which I assume that works over here. There was like some trick to like change the background to just like readable, but I don't remember what it was. Correct, Champion Braves. Megalo Convoy. Let's see. I'm a product of the... I want to know what the Transformers stuff is. Aaron, if anything jumps out to you out of this one too, like, feel free to call it out.
Yeah, when I scanned it before, it was Yeah, what can we expect to see from you in this upcoming book? I'm hoping to create a Transformers comic that appeals to long-time Transformers fans as well as introducing new fans who normally wouldn't have tried a Transformers comic book in the past. It's like,
here's the link for everyone in the chat.
Yeah, you're a new line. Ton of characters have been brilliantly written by Simon Furman that come rather late in Generation 1 universe. Characters such as Scorpion, Zarek, Dreadwing, Darkwing, blah, blah, blah come to mind. Do you plan to follow that same basic concept?
Oh, here we go.
You're relying a lot on Simon's more than capable hands.
One of those characters you mentioned is introduced very early in the first story arc, and it ain't Optimus Prime. Okay, well, who is it? Wait, who among these were in Infiltration? I don't remember any of these being in Infiltration.
Was Zarek later in the Asians when they had a whole bunch of the body horror nonsense?
That was near the end of the Asians, if I remember correctly. Like that was shortly before the changeover with All Hail Megatron. That wasn't early on, because that stuff also heralded like the end of Hunter. Because Ratchet was the first major character. And I just don't remember. Maybe one of these was there, and I can't quite recall.
Maybe Zarek was just in the shadows. We're calling it the whole time.
Oh yeah. Cypher saying, feel like a lot of plans changed early. That's absolutely possible too. I like that Quick Switch is the one that gets called out though by the question asker. How do we feel about character death? Repaired and back on the front lines become somewhat the norm with most any comic book title. The death of Superman and Resurrection. It's a perfect example. Nobody really dies. I don't remember how much that ended up really like connecting with the Asian series. Transformers fans aren't shy about sharing their thoughts and opinions.
No, they've gotten better.
Hey, wait a second. Is there anything you tell us we will not see in the new Transformers book? Zombies and/or vampires? False! That eventually happened. Okay, there will be no zombified Optimus Prime or blood-sucking Megatron. Okay, maybe. But we had there was an IDW-wide crossover that directly affected Cup involving zombies.
Mm-hmm.
Issue 0 of Transformers due out this October for 99 cents. If you can't afford that, you can't afford the internet, and therefore can't read this, and we feel sorry for you. Did Chris do this? Was this Chris's? Yeah, written by Kickback. Okay.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah. Don't be poor, schlub.
Oh yeah, Brit was a vampire. That's right, Lee. I forgot. Yeah, Brit was like the linchpin of the infection whatever thing. Evangelist actually did a news article. That's right, from the future. See, the Transformers the movie teaser banners from licensing. I remember right, those first teaser banners were just Transformers, but in more of a monotone color. I don't know if we even had like the angrier movie insignia by then. Skyfall showing up in the UK. Live Convoy is out in Japan. That's how I got mine. That was at good old Ultra Action Toys. I'm still waiting for our Studio Series Brit helicopter robot with human head. Alternators Swerve found. Hunting time. A ton of original Marvel G1 pages on eBay. I wonder what these sold for. My memory is eBay links like these don't really work anymore.
No.
Let's see. Official preview art for IDW issue 0 is going to be at Botcon. E.J. Sue stuff early on. Hell yeah. Cypher Bulge returns. Hellflame Micron Bulge campaign starts today. We will never be rid of Bulge in the year 2005. Cybertron's out in Toys R Us stores in the USA as of June 23rd. More pics and scans from the licensing event. New Cybertron figures on eBay. Thought we were stopping this.
Well, these are just early, not prototypes.
Well, one of them is unknown figure.
Maybe.
So, like... I wonder who Unknown was. Oh, there was Ed McGuinness art for Infiltration? I forgot about that. Maybe it's just like a cover or something. Is Bulge big and round? If I recall correctly, Bulge did not really look like someone who would be called Bulge, but then who am I to judge? I remember in the Hellflame thing, me and Cypher were looking at those when we did the... I forgot what we were talking about. Did we look at those, or was it when Cypher was just mentioning Bulge again? Anyway, we looked at the colors. They were... Yeah, they are very ashen. They look like a Hellflame happened to them already. Weekly Canadian Transformers News and Review. I remember these. Made me so proud.
This is the only time you could get news up north.
That's right. Shia, is the Bulge sounding proof? I mean, it's a Minicon. He's got lots of holes. Like, he can't... Minicons are kind of at the mercy of the user with that stuff. Devastator statue from Palisades. 12-inch tall statues. Did this one come out? Because I know we're always getting closer to the era of Palisades kind of like coming to a close with their statue run.
I asking the last person that would know about statues and how they came out.
That was like 50% also just aimed at the folks in the text chat.
Mm-hmm.
Megatron's IDW alt mode revealed. I guess this was a joke E.J. Sue did. Does this picture work? Server not found. Oh.
No.
Cypher says, Bulge is actually an astronomical term, along with Quasar and Graviton. Why did the other two sound so much cooler, though? How did Bulge end up being, like, the one that's also the funny, like... the funny verb. The funny adjective. Cybertron commercial on Cartoon Network. Snowcat in package. Oh, look at this! Right after I said it. Palisades, no more Transformers statues? So they were originally based on Dreamwave Comics. They have kind of, but not really, announced their license is about to expire. No plans once the license expires. It means the originally planned Red Alert statue and Mini Rabbit statue may never be produced. Okay, well, maybe that answers my... Oh, we got Palisades Devastator. It did come out. Okay. Here's what it looked like. That's an awkward pose for a statue. Maybe the angle's really bad, but that looks like an action figure in a crummy pose, but it's a statue. That's unfortunate.
That's one of those marketing shots where they gave it to the photographer without any instructions.
Except it's a statue.
Yeah.
So this is what it looks like. Okay, according to TF Wiki, apparently it came out in 2006, limited to 421 pieces, came disassembled in the box, requiring the buyer to combine the legs and arms with the torso. That's just how statues are packaged, is my understanding. We also got Menasor short mode. I remember, yeah, best short mode. Because his crotch becomes enormously wide. And then, yeah, I like this toy a lot. I really wanted to see this done up as an Omega Supreme, because he had the right alt mode for it. I think that was actually one of the times I directly brought that to FunPub at a Botcon, where I was like, it's right there. Okay, that's interesting. So they're stopping, but the Devastator did just come out. Oh, it means that your last release may be the upcoming Devastator statue. Okay. I love it when the news does this, where it's like, I remember this happening. Yeah, it happened the week after. Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a reason why this just got activated in your brain.
Yeah. Cybertron train bots confirmed as rail racer. So this is 6 train turning into a rail racer made of Rail Spike, Rapid Run, Midnight Express, and Tankor and Overload and Swindle. Swindle, damn.
Swindle. That classic train bot, if you remember.
My favorite train bot, Swindle. That, I mean, without the context, right? It depended which train he is, I guess. It is funny, though, that they did just, like, the other 6 train guys, if I remember right, like, there was lots of implication you could take that, like, they're just other aerial bots or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, or am I misremembering? Maybe. Oh no, I'm thinking of the Power Core combiners, and then that led to the kind of head canoning that these could just be other aerial bots. So yeah, never mind. Valkai says Swindle just became generic around this time for a while. Yeah, true. Yeah. Overload and Swindle. Oh, hey, Robot Lore Keeper. Yeah, Overload and Swindle, maybe the Z-lister names next to Ransack.
Yeah. That's definitely in the realm of names of we have it, we need to use it at least once every 18 months in order to keep legal happy.
Yeah. Got scans galore. Universe downshift in package. Transformers are coming to Burger King, along with a Care Bear promotion. I might have looked at those when I was digging around for that live stream I did with TJ about the McDonald's Armada toys. Wow. Repro Labels upgrade sticker set number 2. That's so cute. It's so quaint.
Have to start somewhere, my man.
Oh yeah, Boulder. 07 Game Drone Swindle was a classic. This still does not say what these G1 original pages went for. Scott McNeil interview revealing Cybertron details. It's a detailed 5-part interview. Aaron, let me know if that shows up on yonder Wayback.
Working on it, sir. Paste. Which of Scott's voices did it, though?
I can't remember. Because Cybertron is when they did Australian Jetfire, right? That wasn't him. That was someone else, right? Good old Dreadrock.
Okay, so coming from the link I'll paste in the YouTube chat and in Alternate chat, that has a chunk of interviews. And you can get to at least part 1 loaded, but it's like 5 significant parts.
Let's see if I can get these all churning open. Oh boy. So he's no longer voicing Jetfire. Who's now Brian Drummond said they wanted a new version of Jetfire with a little Australian in the voice, which is ironic considering McNeil is from Australia. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I don't. This may not be a thing to like read all the way through.
Yeah, doing voices, already doing different things. Yeah,
this looks fun, but like,
Scott is a very animated person.
Yeah.
Even like he's. The number of times at shows where it's just like, oh, hey, hey, that's somebody that's Scott McNeil. We're at the Denny's across the street from the convention. And he's talking to the waitress just by himself. And you can tell that he's doing a bunch of big voices. It's like, my man.
Oh, Robot Lore Keeper.
You're him.
Remind me. I will do that. I can add an extra life goal for dramatic reading of this stuff. I'm down. Just remind me. I still want to get back to the Elden Ring DLC run. That is still on my menu. I got waylaid by my mom's medical stuff, but I'm still thinking about it. What is he talking about? I am Snarl now, which is fun. And then I think I'm Backbite. I never saw Cybertron, so I actually have no memory of this. I only watched Galaxy Force fan-subbed.
Oh, sorry.
Topless Corvette. The way of the blade is the way of my Kokoro. The transcription of this also, I can tell, like, it's early days, and they're trying to figure out how do you transcribe the way that Scott McNeil talks,
doing voices. Yeah, like I said, I've seen him at show adjacent interacting with normal public, and he's very much doing, Dinobot versus Rat Trap by himself at someone.
Ed Norton type voice. All right, one more page. I'm just seeing if there was anything else pertinent to the year 2005 going on in here. That was, what, a page and a half talking about Venus Terzo? Poster if you know, while I'm not sure what the finalized name for Backbite is, he did confirm it was the Rhino. Okay, so it was Cydos. It was Backstop. Oh, down here someone said it's Backstop, not Backbite. Okay. Let's close these tabs.
Yeah, Simeon Scott. I am sure that Scott McNeil, was constantly in trouble as a child.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's... voice actors being class clowns, actual play derived RPGs very much having that, some of these rules are very much in the tone of we wrote these for the theater kids who want to play this game. I wasn't a theater kid, but I basically have the brain of one, so I can recognize game. What's up, no? Wait, what's up, lowercase no? What what's up, improper noun no? Meet proper noun no. When will we get Generations Backstop? Listen. I've written the letters. Alright, end of June 05, we had our in-package pictures of Alternators Prowl. MPG Backstop. Cybercon Expo updates. They are having... Oh, they're having James McDonough and Adam Paddock. And Alex Milne and Joe Ng. Alrighty. Congrats to Gary Moy, who won free membership to the official Transformers Collectors Club. I mean, that's a free figure, right? Cybertron Rumble is on eBay. I thought that we patched this leak. Hasbro! Phase Ignition Galaxy Force Guidebook. I don't remember this, but I miss a lot of the era books back then. DreamWorks Comic Con press release. Produce a new live-action motion picture based on the globally popular Transformers. Okay, they're just saying the same blurb. Oh, okay, you changed your YouTube name to No Name when you deleted socials. Bet you weren't expecting to find proper noun no. Transformers.com reminds you Cybertron premieres on Saturday. Hasbro Toy Shop adds Transformers Cybertron. I forgot Cybertron took till the summer to launch. I know we've been seeing bits and pieces of, spotted, sighted, but I kind of was like, I guess it's out now? Takara exclusive force chips being sent out. Oh, wait. They did Microns. Did they do... Cypher, I feel... Not to, typecast you if you're still here. But did they do... did force chips also get, a lot of colorways, or was this just, Am I just making assumptions based on the Superlink Energon weapons? Okay, they did one or two. Okay, yeah. Burger King Transformers Cybertron toys revealed. E-Hobby Joint Force Magnificus and Gamede photos. So I guess those are out. Cybertron release updates. Most likely in your Toys R Us stores. The store we can all just assume we have access to in the year 2005.
Yeah.
Alright, new floor set for Target stores for July. Interesting. Happy hunting, trans fans! The Micromaster Railbots are Universe, not Cybertron. That makes sense, I guess. The name Railbots, which was something signified by Aaron Archer at the Hasbro panel at OTFCC 2004. I don't think I ever heard that before, actually. Binaltech News. Huh? Oh, it's a Chris one. Okay. Skids prowl and women don't go there, girlfriend. So we're getting Binaltech Asterisk is being mentioned here. Asterisk. Girl versions of your favorite Binaltech figures. That is not what it was. But this is when they put in like the figurines, the anime girl figurines that were like scaled to the things, but it was not yet Kiss Play. This is like the interim.
Yeah.
Okay, Cypher. I remember a Jungle Planet one that was barely different. Yeah, those. Yeah, the because Force Chips, like, they are already in enough colors. I feel like it would be difficult to like make one noticeable. It's like this one's in magenta, and it's like, okay, maybe. But what if I just think that my eyes are blurry and I'm looking at like a Racing Planet one? But yeah, this is where we got Broadcast. Broadcast was the really cool one, if I remember right. Like that was the blaster out of the Toyota. Interview with E.J. Sue. Oh, Aaron, yeah.
I was my brain was rolling back to memory modes of Broadcast.
That felt like the one that I almost got. The anime girls had like I guess like Nendoroid style part swaps, so they could be in like a I'm in the car driving it setup. Did they not do that for Kiss players? Damn.
I could swear Kiss players had, because wasn't the Optimus Prime pickup truck Kiss players with the surfboard jagged weapon thing?
They had the weapon. Kiss players had the weapon things, but I don't remember if the Kiss players themselves. Okay, I was right. Cypher saying there were no alt parts in Kiss players. Yeah, that felt weird to me because like they did it already in Asterisk, and I was like, well, why don't? I feel like we're losing something here. Okay, yeah, Boulder, you have the alert. You swap the arms, split her with a sitting bottom half to stick them in the car. Yeah, that's weird to me. They didn't do that with the Kiss player figures too. Anyway, interview with E.J. Sue. Aaron, this looks like it might be a go.
Link. A past link. Shows up as a maybe.
Oh god, there's more on Alternators.
Yep.
Hang on. There's Burger King Megatron. Looking solid. I wish I could hold a pose like that. That's like that's a power posture. That gets your bowels open. The rest of these are not quite as exciting. These now they're just looking like, fast food toys. But that Megatron is in a good pose.
It's a dominating pose. Lets you know.
This Red Alert actually reminds me of McDonald's Red Alert a little bit, if I remember him correctly. Yeah, he's stanced up. My turn on the Xbox, ass. And then Griff has a Cyber Key gallery, so I guess I can just take a look. I'm assuming that the promo ones are in... Oh, okay, I remember. Actually, I remember this one a little bit. Yeah, that's, like, neat. I'm sure that can be found. Weird way to put it. And then the mystery Cyber Key. Okay, so it's like this one. That's neat. I like this one, too. Because that's, like, Optimus Prime-y colors. Whoa. Anyway, Cybertron Supreme Starscream now available. People are picking up this Starscream that they're sure they will be able to get a smaller version of sooner than later. Surely.
Yeah. If you wanted to read the E.J. Sue link, it does work.
Oh. The link works itself?
I'm putting it.
Okay. Robo Lord Keeper, those were Burger King Cybertron things. Just curious, like before the book was out, I wondered because this was sort of our debut to E.J. Sue, right? Yeah. What's your background?
Some of the earliest, yeah.
Industrial design. Yeah, a lot of Transformers designed to be part of Microman. It's actually crazy over Microman. I am to this day still a fan of the E.J. Sue art style. Oh, Cypher, what is the price of the only Jungle Planet promo key on eBay right now? Oh, he worked on Volume 2 of Devil's Due G.I. Joe vs. Transformers. I did not remember that. Hasbro has a thing for not wanting G.I. Joes drawn in certain styles, and my artwork falls into that category.
Again, that sounds very much like decisions being made at a level.
Yeah.
Like drawn like how? Like humans, or is he trying to go for like some weird hyper stylized no joints look, like a Sorry Sundak on drugs? Or
I like this answer a lot. Are you going for anime, realistic, or a blend of the two? E.J. Sue. First of all, I don't believe anime is a style. The usage of anime or manga in terms of style is sort of a pet peeve of mine, but I understand what people are referring to. I'm down with that. Like, I'm not a stickler, but I am very much a believer that, like, you know, I get what you mean, but there's other ways to describe it that I think are more accurate.
This is also 2005 people, not 2025 people.
Yeah, I mean, to see someone saying that in 2005 is actually pretty astonishing to me, because, like,
yeah, you
know, this is still close enough to the era of, like, you know, you have a VHS tape where there's a promo reel of a guy going "Manga!" like in the background, and
yeah. Anything that was overseas animation was Japanimation.
Yeah. It's like the one bad portmanteau. Okay, Cypher says that the Jungle Planet promo key is $45 plus $25 shipping from Japan. That's less than triple digits to have one of the 3 promo force chips. I like how, I think, Aaron, before they heard you say it, Cypher with Japanimation, Ali Convoy with Japanime. Yeah, the KMFDMs. Yeah. Gurgamesh! Yeah, no, I mean, I was part of the problem when I was that age, like, way back, but, like, I forgot when I had the epiphany, but it was just at a certain point it bothered me, because I was kind of like, there were, like, extensions of this sort of misuse that extended more into the discussion of shows, and people would be like, man, this show, the writing kind of feels anime, and I would be like, what do you mean? And it was when I started to go like, wait, anime just means cartoon. Anyway, it's a soapbox that doesn't really matter as much anymore. Let's see, is there any involvement having alternators in the comic? I do take alternators into design considerations, but no actual alternators in the comic. My interpretation of Astro Train is him being huge. Hey, this is for all the paleos out there. Dinobots are my favorite. I especially Swoop, the flying one. Even though Pteranodon is technically not a dinosaur, E.J. Sue's just chilling out like, I got your back. Everyone in any niche who has to sit there and weather the storm. Nah, I got your back, says E.J. Sue. Wants to have a whole amusement park of dinosaur Transformers called Cyberrassic Park. E.J. Sue would love to do a Beast series. I can't remember if E.J. Sue ever got to do Beast Transformers art outside of, like, one-off stuff.
I can't remember either.
Who's your favorite writer to work with? Well, Simon's been great so far, because I'm working with him right now. Liked War Within. Who's... TFW really trying to get answers out of that. Trying to give the old sponge squeeze here. That's cool. That was a neat interview to look at. I don't think I read that back when it happened. Oh yeah, you linked it in the chat already, so it's all good. A tattoo. Mm-hmm. Is that a tattoo? What does this have to do with anything?
That is a tattoo. That is an Optimus Prime tattoo. That is something. So this is an interesting corruption thing. This is an attachment ID.
Oh,
so this is something that somebody attached on the boards. And now it's leaking into this timeline.
Oh no! Yeah, that's a tattoo of movie Optimus. What? Oh no! Are we gonna start just getting random pictures? Oh, here we go.
I believe the breakover point is coming up soon, so there may be a couple of months of the timelines oddly merging and leaking across each other if board attachment IDs are being used on the front page before it like vomits itself back into one single time stream.
Logos and Shia are like, imagine if this was how the design leaked. Oh wow, this is gonna okay, and that's the top of the page. Okay, let's see if this happens anymore, I guess. Oh, this is so fun. I love all this. Just like, there's no reason to go back and fix these parts of the website, but like, right. I love that we're just finding like all this like outright link rot, misaligned attachments, just the detritus of a 20-year-old website. I guess 25-year-old website, you know, coming up. Our worlds really are in danger. Galaxy Force Jackshot Jackshot is such a good goddamn name. I love that name. Curious how people felt about the first episode of Cybertron. Grats to Little Iron for being the featured July fan artist. Wave 2 Scouts out in Mexico. Transformers the movie on UK UMD. I wonder if I can't remember if I got the movie on UMD or not. I watched Spider-Man 2 on UMD a bunch. Metrodome. Cybertron figures. Galaxy Force Megalo Convoy confirmed for September release date. Overdue update. Kickbacks music videos. Did we do one of these for Jux too? I can't remember. None of these are going to work anymore. I think at one
point in time, yeah, these are all like TFW links.
Yeah.
Because YouTube is now maybe in its infancy?
Not yet. I don't think.
Or was YouTube another year out?
YouTube?
We're getting close to it. Because I know every time we see these video hits, I go and look, and I'm going to do it again.
I made my YouTube account in 06. And I was there pretty early. I can't remember if it actually existed in 05 or not. I know we looked it up before. Yeah, Linkin Park Armada Starscream. That was a classic.
Founded February 14, 2005.
Oh, and Simeon saying it launched then, too. So maybe it was floating around. Even if it was, these are all gone. These... Because I uploaded my
first video uploaded April 23rd, 2005, titled "Me at the Zoo." It shows co-founder Jawad Karim at the San Diego Zoo and can still be viewed on the site.
Oh, Adam, technically my channel will be 20 years old next year, but my channel as we all know it is going to be 18 years old next year, because it wasn't until 08 that I started actually using it properly. So I feel weird, like, celebrating its birthday based on just when I made the account. Griff, Little Iron was the giant saver. Right! That's who PM'd me. Because Little Iron PM'd me once. And, like, hooked me up with some giant saver stuff. Damn, I forgot that was the name. I wonder if they're still active. That's so cool.
The site exited out of beta in 2005. Clips at the time were limited to 100 megabytes, as little as 30 seconds of footage.
Okay. Yeah, I had my own set of music videos that were the actual start of my YouTube channel, because I had a Bush Machine Head one for Transformers the movie. I think I did mine before Chris Kickback did his Armada one. And then I had Apocalyptica Path for Kamen Rider Phi's Paradise Lost was my last and best AMV. Oh, Valkaisa says they designed some of the smaller Chinese Transformers blind pack toys. Oh, that's cool. Griff, oh, you posted a link. Okay. Oh, we also, hang on. First I gotta share this. UMD video. Hell yeah. The only way to watch Transformers the movie. If you still have a PSP, get the battery out of there. Those things have become danger pillows, by the way.
Spicy danger pillows, not just normal danger pillows.
Yeah, no, they're getting... they're getting that unhealthy capsaicin, which is battery acid. Little Iron, let's see. Oh, Little Iron's connected to Toy Wolf. Toy Wolf did the toilet guys. You can see them here. The toilet shoguns.
Because I know when I think of the shogunate, I think of toilets.
Me too. Yeah, the Giant Saver stuff was very cool. Like, very Megazord core, but, like, satisfying, fun to play with. Robot Lorekeeper, that was a big question when the era of AMV was still crossing over with live-action stuff. Because we said AMV all the time, and I remember I was one of the ones who was like, can I still call it an AMV if it's Kamen Rider? Because it's people. I feel like TJ has a story related to, like, he entered an AMV in a contest and then they nixed it because it was Kamen Rider, or it was Tokusatsu. I can't remember if it was Kamen Rider, but it was live action. And they were like, this is not anime. Oh yeah, Lee Calvin. No, DeviantArt sucks now. They got this Dream Up AI art nonsense all woven in. It's gross. There are Kamen Rider animes. I think that, like, there was a thing, because at the time it was like, if you used the SD Kamen Rider Black RX anime, you could get Kamen Rider into an AMV contest or something. It was silly. I don't know. I'll take it easy, other no. Hope you enjoy the VOD when you get a look at it. Hasbro to unveil mystery Transformers item at San Diego Comic Con. Well, world news: London hit by terror attacks. It's still happening. It's still we're still in the aughts when we're like, do we do this? This was 4 separate explosions. So yeah, we have these. Okay, these go to actual, like, bespoke news links, so they weren't just sending to the front pages. Yeah, right. The 7th. Yeah, it's July 7.
Yeah. So
yeah, the aughts, right? Trying to figure this stuff out. New pics of Chromia. This is at least, like, a little bit, how do you put it? There's a sense of solemnity to this that, like, there was supposed to be a sense of solemnity to the Ronald Reagan thing. It's just that the formatting it with, like,
yeah,
with like the sources as though they were board members and everything, like. TFW threads on the 7/7 bombings you couldn't get. Yeah, I don't remember what the tone was. Oh yeah, please join our ongoing discussion on the London terror attacks.
Yeah, I think this was still, like, we wanted to be able to talk about news and politics like real adult human beings.
Does this link?
And then you'd have somebody come in and vomit face nonsense.
Does this link work in archive.org?
Let me see.
I'm curious if I can at least, like, finally share a slice of NNP.
Nope.
Damn it!
Not our card, that URL.
Because there's a really big chance that, like, my brain is, like, compressing a lot of NNP, and, like, I wish I could
The problem with news and politics is that, like, 70% of it would be nothing, burgers. 20% would be kind of like mid-range Reddit nonsense, and then the other 10% would be just disgusting, like having to come in with a fucking fire hose, separate one of 6 or 7 different posters off of one of 6 or 7 other different posters, lock a thread so you can't talk about this anymore, and say like, hey, quit it. Because that was before TFW had like the warning points systems.
Oh, this is pre-warnings too.
I'm pretty sure this is all pre-warnings before we got that. The ability to like actually track if somebody's really being an idiot versus just like, I feel like he's always causing problems.
Yeah.
Do you think he's always causing problems? And it would have to be a capital B, capital D, big deal to ban someone, because we were still
this is 2005. Like and there was no, as far as I recall, it also was not like in 06, and early 07. It wasn't like we got to get ready for what's about to happen, because there was no indication of what was about to happen.
Yeah.
So like,
So I mean, the boards were still relatively small, relatively close knit. It wasn't nearly as big as it is.
Robot Lord Keeper, that is actually a great way to describe it. It was kind of like voting on who to banish, like the ancient Greeks, because like the membership of the boards and the site was still like small enough that you could just kind of sit there and look at everything, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like, because early NMP, like basically News and Politics Forum, it was it was at its worst in 2001 because of 9/11. That's when like the Jingo boys were just shooting shotguns at everything. But I recall it getting more venomously passive aggressive as the years went on. Like real, just like cold ass, like, I'll remember you said that. And then like in a Transformers thread, it would rise up against like, so you mean much like your opinion on the 7/7 bombings, you think, and then, you'd have to like separate them.
Yeah.
Like keep it in the,
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember it was always like, each side had their way of saying other political's party, but as Decepticon or whatever, or just like, the nonsense, like, it's a thing that, like, I get, but I hate every time that I see somebody be like, Microsoft with $signs for S's, or Hasbro, or things like that. It's like, you're not, like, you can say, hey, I think Microsoft really milks the cost on their products, and we can have a discussion on that. But when, like, one of your leading points is that you're exchanging letters with $signs, or the demo KKK rat, it's like, you clearly have a strong opinion on this matter.
It's about to say,
I don't know how we can have a sort of discussion about this matter when it is very clear as you are, $signs Sonying it on things.
Do you think at some point, because I anything could have happened. Do you think at some point someone tried to, pump up their party by going like the Autobots / the Democrats? I'm going to call them the Autocrats, and didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah. I'm sure there was somebody that workshopped that for a little bit, trying to how to the positive spin on it. But yeah, like, and it's not necessarily a TFW thing, but a general wider thing. If you're trying to have
it's where we were.
A legitimate discussion about something, like, at least try to use neutral language when speaking about each side, rather than coming in like, I'm open for discussion on how these racist violence, racist things happen. It's.
I'm sure someone floated Decepticons, not realizing it just looks like they misspelled Decepticons. Adam Billmu, luckily the fandom learned the lessons of an overly political era, and thusly became much more mature in discussing the important issues of our time, and we all transformed robots happily ever after, is what I'm sure someone somewhere on a message board thinks happened.
Yeah, there's somebody out there that thinks that's the truth.
Figma, more like Ligma. Damn, got him.
But yeah, that and that maybe that's one of Aaron's like, hey, let's have a good, wise discussion on something. Like, you know, if you want to have that reasonable discussion, try to leave your biases at the door and be open on it and not
Lee's got a good point though.
Edgelord.
Aaron, are you a Decepticon or a Decepticant?
Sure.
Oh, okay, you got me. Sucks hard figure farts. Someone must have wrote that on Ranger board at some point, not to go derogatory immediately on Toku message boards. It reminds me of the time there was a guy on like Henshin Justice who at length hunted down anyone who called the Gaim thing the DJ gun and would very specifically and always at length explain to them it is in fact not the DJ gun, it is the Hinawa Dai Dai DJ Ju and should always be referred to only as, quote, the Hinawa Dai Dai DJ Ju, because otherwise no one knows that you are referring to the Hinawa Dai Dai DJ Ju. And it was like the most irritating message board post I ever saw before I kind of just stopped using message boards.
That is peak. I'm keeping this obscure Japanese term because there's no perfect one-to-one explanation of what the social implications of, you know, Anarchy means in this context, because it's not literally his brother, it's whatever else.
The Boku no Hero Academia brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lee Calva, it was what was it? Jew is like some kind of specific flintlock shotgun thingy. I think that was actually their reasoning, is like, gun is not an accurate translation of Jew because that is a very specific feudal Japanese firearm. And it's like, yeah, but it's a gun that has a DJ mixer wick thing stuck on the side. You are my Nakama. Anyway, there's a bunch of clear images. TFW presents screensavers. I imagine these are gone. Images of new Binaltech, Binaltech Asterisk. Cybertron CA. We've got Cybertron premiering on YTV tonight, July 8th, 2005. Yeah, I mean, Wave Sign, like, I've always said, I am an overtime enjoyer. I would not disagree that they would sometimes get a little bit kooky funny with their localization creativity, but also, I liked a lot of the jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Custom Masters update with a Cybercon exclusive. What was this? Limited to 10 pieces. I wish I knew what it was. Transformers Florida fan event. I remember that was a thing America specifically always got to do, was like have actual like local organized fan events at a Toys R Us. Like a picnic table set up or something like that?
Yeah, so that was Junior. He specifically did that. Like, I think he worked like at that Toys R Us.
Oh, it was his thing. Okay.
And he like worked really hard, and I think he might have had like some sort of Hasbro Connect to be like, hey, like, you know, get an early couple of boxes of something to his Toys R Us. Or I think this had maps that won't be available for a while. Or it wasn't anything huge, but it was always just a nice little nod that it'd be a great thing if more people had groundswell fandom for any fandom thing. Like, hey, I'm a big fan of it and want to spread fan love. So, hey, here. It'd be like if we went to the Toys R Us that's down the road from TFCon and bought a bunch of basics or scouts or whatever and was like, hey, little kid, you like robot toys? Here, have some.
Hey, little kid!
And scare all the children that are coming in.
Hey, children! By the way, I'm just noticing this next news item, Alternator Sunstreaker on eBay, comes from Omegas Prime, who would one day evolve like a Pokemon into TJ Omega. Also, yeah, like, not to, fan sub discourse, now that MKVs exist and people do soft subs, you can always just, like, tweak the scripts yourself, which I love that transition state that fan subbing went through. But also, unless it's, like, really ugly stuff, which I can't imagine it would be, but, like, I was surprised, because I saw that when I was on Cat's site looking for Geet stuff, I saw a bunch of stuff from a group called Anon, and I was finding out later that that's what TV Nihon rebranded to. Is there a reason behind that? And is it fun? Or did something happen? Not to, like, I'm not looking for tea or anything, because I really don't care enough to want to, like, get into gossip, but I was like, what happened? What's with the Anon? Because I assumed that was from the M board. So finding out that was TV Nihon, I was like, really? What?
That maybe because didn't TV Nihon at one point in time get a couple of like C and D letters?
They were one of the ones who got poked when the poking happened.
And we're like, okay, fine, we won't do it. And then others popped up that had similar styles. Like they shuffled, like, okay, you take my timer, I'll get your timer on these things. That's the text guy. He works kind of for both of us.
Yeah.
But if we have him work for the third group, your guys' guy is going to do the font stuff for us now. Well, I have no idea what you're talking about. Our LLC is no longer in PO Box number 227. It's in PO Box number 229. We're a totally different group.
Okay. Also, Simeon Scott saying that this may have actually come from that Toei C&D, in which case that makes sense. I for some reason in my memory, they didn't change their name off of the C&D. They just, like, kind of took a break. Yeah, they skipped Revice. Like, that's when we had the shakeup in fan subbing of, like, are we getting simulcast? You know, combined with the C&D. I remember it was, like, this odd, long pause. Okay, that makes sense, though. I mean, yeah, what... That's a totally reasonable thing to do. I guess I just missed it. Hey, you can download the Transformers Cybertron theme song from Transformers.com. With a lot of info on the DJ who mixed it, Paul Oakenfold. I don't remember them posting a bio on there. That's kind of cool.
Is that name familiar?
Did he not do the Beast Machines intro as well? Or am I misremembering? And yeah, shout out to Subaraya for actually doing the simulcasts. And then, like, the friggin' professional dub, too. Cybertron Scout Size Wave 2. We weren't saying class yet. Clocker and Hardtop arrived in America on July 9th, 2005. Didn't Paul Oakenfold voice Leader 1 in G1? Glad someone finally caught it, Adam Bilmu. Ninjatron, I think he did the music from the movie Appleseed. Okay, Ali Convoy, that was Left Field. Okay. They both have folds in the ends of their names. That's how my brain got
that might have been what it was.
More images of the Cybertron Optimus Ultra Magnus 2-pack. Cardboard cutouts for pre-order on cardboardcutout.net. Transformers the movie update. Writers off the project. Don Murphy has posted. The writers have been lured off to work on Mission Impossible 3, which will delay us indeed. No script in sight. The studio will have a big truck on the floor of the San Diego Comic Convention. Tom and I have nothing to do with this. If it turns out to be awesome, credit DreamWorks marketing. If not, well...
So, didn't we already have a script at this point? Or was it just a solid story that is what got Michael Bay involved?
Why is he writing question mark period throughout the middle of a... Sorry. Yeah, I don't remember. I would assume this maybe has to do with the movie now not coming out in 2006. They did have a script, but maybe it was not considered to be complete and required more work. Anyway, we got pre-registration closing this Friday for Cybercon Expo 2005. Don't miss it. Peter Cullen will be there. Star Wars, more than meets the eye. Apparently YodaNews.com is announcing that there was a Transformers logo on packaging along with a Star Wars logo. Popular theories include that it might be a Darth Vader that transforms into the Death Star?
No, it was Vader into his TIE Fighter.
Yeah, the Vader Death Star happened at the end of the line, if I remember right. Because that Death Star deploys a giant soft goods cape, which is still hilarious to me.
Was that Death Star or was that a Star Destroyer?
Oh, maybe it was a Star Destroyer.
Because wasn't it like Vader and Anakin into the Star Destroyer and like the Venator?
Is that the one that had the soft goods cape? Maybe.
I can't remember.
I just remember the giant soft goods cape because they did both, says logos.
They did both.
Okay.
There was a Death Star one.
Okay, I was thinking of because the Death Star one, I remember thinking a moon-sized giant fabric cape meant that Emperor Palpatine forced a bunch of Imperial workers to stitch this giant cape for his goofy little fail son.
Just a bunch of old Imperial grandma sitting there knitting squares to all come together in the end.
Yeah. Oh, 6.0 just did a video about the Death Star. Okay. See, usually people don't know what I'm talking about when I bring up this thing.
And that was also from Bill's Toys and Games.
Also from Bill's Toys and Games.
Still gets a link.
Yeah. I'm sure those pre-orders are going to come in real soon. Some large image updates. New music video by Kickback, Fallen Angels by Raw. I remember that one, kind of. UK Transformers news from Chris McFeely of our 2005 boards. Transformers.com, check back tomorrow. I wonder what that's going to be. X-Gazer, yeah, that's how they spell it in the package. Yeah, X-Gazer. 45% off, comicstatues.com. Decepticon Brush Guard. Cybercon 2005 wrap-up with Vice Grip X. Galaxy Force new releases, Back Guild and X-Gazer. Wow, so July, Galaxy Force had already gotten to the Cybertron Defense trio. I think? That was X-Gazer. Yeah, Back Guild and Fast Gunner, yeah. Or am I misremembering? Oh, because, yeah, it's First Gunner. It was them. Yeah. I'll take it easy, Chris Carnage. Toy Galleries, Transformers the Movie, news release date, and more from Comic Con. Okay, there was a Q&A. July 4th, 2007 is now the date. So this is big. This is press releases. We should see if either of these work in the way back.
Sorry, I got sidetracked by Alfie coming home.
Oh, no worries.
Briefly. Which one are we looking for?
Transformers the Movie, new release date, and more from Comic Con. There's 2 links.
Yep.
Yeah, it was X-Gazer off of Exilion was Hotshot's original name in Galaxy Force. Or, yeah, Exelion. I think it was.
That first link has things, but it's from 2006.
That's not right.
It's trying to load. It might still be it. Just yeah, the byline on it's July 13.
Huh.
So there's that one.
Oh, we got some other updates here. So there was the Energon website, which then became the Cybertron website. Because, yeah, you can unlock your codes here. That was right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we got the Cybertron theme song here. Let's see if this plays. Oh, this one, yeah. Yeah, I remember that. That's probably going to get muted on the VOD, given my current experience with whenever I play a second of anything during one of these streams. Oh, here we go. Prowl Pants' Custom Masters on Facebook. Let me pull that into my personal window here. Have a look-see. Oh, this is... Oh, he did Action Masters. Right. He did the Did he do the Botcon 04 breakdown too? Dang.
Mm-hmm.
This is sort of a sprawling bunch of things here. I'm not sure which one is the news item we were looking at, but
so in the YouTube chat, I copied the two archive.org links.
okie dokie.
I'll drop them into alternate chat.
I've also got the 2 cardboard cutouts
First
here.
one.
Boop, boop, boop. Oh wait, this is the wrong thing. Hang on, let me
Second one.
go over to this one. Megatron cardboard and Optimus Prime cardboard. And here we go. We got this and this. Yeah, the Cybertron theme had the destroy at the very end. With the random Australian man. Wage their battle! Alright. Wait, is this official? Okay, this is official. So, okay, this is official. Aaron, do you want to do the cues?
Sure. Did you want to do the?
Oh, here we go.
Lead in as anything?
We have an incredibly devoted fan base for Transformers and are fortunate to be working with some of the entertainment industry's leading companies in expanding the ways that fans can experience the Transformers saga. Says me, Greg Lombardo, Director of Marketing for Transformers.
Well, you'll be showing at Comic Con.
While we debuted Cybertron at ToyFare, Comic Con will be the first time fans can see Cybertron Transformers in person. They are already in stores. We'll be showing virtually all the Cybertron toys slated for this fall, all the fall exclusives, and a number of new Alternators models. We'll also be unveiling a new assortment for the first time, Minicon Battle Packs that will be launching in the spring.
Can I buy Transformers Cybertron at Comic Con?
We will be offering the first wave of our deluxe assortment and new Legends assortment at the Hasbro booth at Comic Con. Most other Transformers assortments will be available to purchase at HasbroToyShop.com.
Any big announcements at Comic Con? What's going on with the movie?
DreamWorks Pictures announced that they have set July 4th, 2007 for the domestic release of the new live-action Transformers movie. The official movie website will launch this Tuesday. You can access the new movie site at www.transformers.com. Transformers fans should be sure to stop by both DreamWorks booths at Comic-Con. A special Transformers sizzle will be shown in the DreamWorks animation booth and at the Hasbro Transformers panel on Friday, July 15th from 2 to 3 o'clock in Room 2. As for second DreamWorks booth, well, let's just say it'll be pretty hard to miss, and it's in a prime location.
What's been the reaction to Cybertron on Cartoon Network?
Cybertron debuted at the beginning of the month as part of Cartoon Network's Toonami block. Catch it every Saturday at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern. I literally didn't answer your question.
Was the theme song updated? It sounds a little different.
Grammy-nominated DJ Paul Oakenfold remixed the theme song earlier this year, specifically for the Transformers Cybertron.
Yeah.
It sounds really cool. Go here to download it for free.
So this is a question and answer, and we're joking as if it's actually a discussion, and I just imagine it's like, go here, URL, for free. Can you tell us more about the Transformers comic books?
We're excited to be working IDW... Man, who copy edited this? We're excited to be working IDW Publishing as they relaunch the new line of Transformers comics.
Working their kidneys, working their liver.
Punching them.
Got to get some knee hits in.
The first comic will be a special introductory 0 issue and is scheduled to debut this October. The next comic in the series is expected in January 2006 and will include the classic Generation 1 G1 storyline, as well as new plot lines and new series.
Is it true that you're doing something with Burger King?
Is it true?
Please tell me if you're doing something with Burger King.
Is it true you're working with Burger King? Yes, the Transformers Burger King promotion begins August 8th and is scheduled to run through September 4th. 4 favorite Transformers characters will be featured: Optimus Prime, Megatron, Jetfire, and Red Alert. The figures will really transform and feature all new tooling. Yeah, we're not going to just put friggin' leader class Optimus Prime in your Burger King burger bag.
Are there any updates on Botcon?
Fun Publications is launching their first Transformers Collectors Convention, I guess we're still calling it that, in Frisco, Texas, and we're really excited about seeing what Brian and his team can do with Botcon. Guess we're calling it that too. Everyone here has put a lot of effort into the convention, from the exclusive figures to planning details, and we can't wait to see it all come together. Botcon is a way for us to meet directly with Transformers fans, so be sure to mark September 22 to 25th on your calendars. By the way, this is not how Greg Lombardo talks. He's just a normal guy, and I find it funnier to do this as his voice. That's just me, though. Okay, so we also got... Whoa, okay. It will be More Than Meets the Eye at theaters, nationwide on 7/4/7. Yeah, directed by Michael Bay, screenplay by Kurtzman and Orsi, producers Tom DeSanto, Don Murphy, Lorenzo de Bonaventura with only an upcoming, Steven Spielberg and Brian Goldner executive producing, Ian Bryce is line producer, under the direction of Michael Bay with Steven Spielberg executive producing. We know that Transformers is going to be the kind of explosive action movie that is perfect for the height of the summer movie season. By staking our claim on the 4th of July, 2007. Wait. Right. 4th. Oh, right. Okay, that's how they formatted the date. Never mind. I get it.
Yeah. That's how we do it on this side of the border.
We ensure that we not only... Yeah, I was about to say, like, wait, did you get the date wrong? We ensure that we not only have the time to make this movie the way it should be made, but also to build excitement and awareness leading up to its release. Brian Goldner, Rip, experience Transformers in a way that is incredibly powerful.
We're going to take these jumper cables, put them on your nuts.
Let's see, they're launching the official movie website. There will be a huge 18-wheeler truck sporting the instantly recognizable Transformers logo. It is not a truck related to any character, simply the logo. Introduced in 1984, the Transformers brand took the world by storm with its compelling saga of the Autobots versus the Decepticons. The innovative robots in disguise resulted in a tremendously successful toy line from Hasbro and Takara, comic book series, television program, and an animated feature film. More than 20 years later, a new generation has discovered the excitement of the Transformers brand and its legendary characters, including the 2 leaders of the opposing sides, Optimus Prime and Megatron. Today, the franchise features a popular toy line, an animated series on the Cartoon Network, and a chart-topping comic book series for this used to say Dreamwave. This used to say Dreamwave. How do you have a chart-topping comic book series from IDW? They haven't even put out issue 0 yet. That's really funny.
It tops the chart of sales for an unreleased comic book at 0.
Yeah, the Transformers on the Cartoon Network. Alright, both internationally, it's Play School, Tonka, Milton Bradley, Parker Brothers, Tiger, and Wizards of the Coast brands are recognizable, so I was curious what they were going to highlight. Paramount Pictures is part of the entertainment operations of Viacom. Viacom had not yet become a cuss word, because I believe they were the ones who well and truly began the real era of YouTube, when it was no longer the funny place to just put whole television episodes. Yeah, Hasbro had Wizards of the Coast since, I believe we identified 1999 is when they got them. Yeah, long. They actually have had Wizards for 26 years.
Yeah. They more and more, I think it's things where, like, the Hasbro logo has started to show up on Wizards of the Coast things, and have had a whole lot more people feeling that there's much more Hasbro involvement in Wizards of the Coast. It was like the first one of the Pulse Con, like My Little Pony, Nerf
was that
War,
the Grimlock?
cards where people were like, Hasbro's pushing in on all of this, blah blah. Wizards of the Coast was a very unfettered virginal brand that never had any sort of
Five men in a basement.
Yeah. And it's like, nah, dog, since they bought like TSR and became gross and massive, like they've always been a business trying to make money, it turns out. It's just you finally had a bit of veil come off over your eyes to go, oh.
Yeah, I sort of remember back then people were kind of grousing, like, they're wasting a silver border slot on a Grimlock? And it's like, yeah. Guess what awaits you? Guess what awaits you in the future?
Yeah.
Spider-Man and Final Fantasy coming out in the same year under standard. Also, what are blocks? Alright, Transformers movie news. Okay, so it's this thing. Transformers Battlefield teaser image. The 12-inch line of statue. Oh, right, first for figures. Long as you're Hasbro, till all are one, threatening. Sneak preview of Optimus Prime at SDCC. It's a red transport truck. I think this may have... Was this the truck? Because I don't think this was. If I remember correctly. Oh, damn. I forgot when the movie site launched, it had its own message board. TransformersLive.com.
This okay? That image might load here. Everything's suddenly acting very slow, along with you having some chirpity sounds. Ooh. So I'm hoping it's
Weird.
not internet going out. Well,
this is Battleground, by the way. This is shared by Ollie Convoy.
Way back caught the page, just none of the images on the page.
Damn it!
Not helping me out here. Let me go to a much later version, see if that caught. Nope. Just a bunch of broken images.
I'm just going to do a search. I'm going to do a quick search.
2005 SDCC.
Oh, I found it.
Okay.
Someone posted it on Reddit. I know, big surprise.
Okay.
Let me see.
Better be like 20-year-old Reddit.
Pull that in here. No, this is from 2 years ago. But yeah,
that's a flat nose truck, so that's
not the truck.
Yeah, that's not even like a good G1. That's not even like a Kenworth flat nose to be the right style of.
I remember though.
Hey, what will it take us to get a truck on to stay on the show floor after loadout? Put a big tarp on it, something. I don't know.
Make sure it's red. Yeah. I think that we did for a while assume this was unless a news item comes up clarifying. Maybe it does, but I would not be surprised that we just sort of assumed, oh, this must be Optimus Prime. I guess.
It's flat nose. Why would you do anything else?
Yeah, they don't make other trucks.
Yeah.
Sorry, I saw Griff was saying you can take Megatron's helmet off on that statue, on the Battleground statue. That's kind of cool. So yeah, the movie site launched. We got IDW news from ToyFare magazine. The human characters are going to be a teenage runaway, a drifter, and a conspiracy theorist. They want to finish up War Within Volume 3 in Energon. I think, didn't we got told what was going to happen? I can't remember anymore. I know that was a big talking point for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be releasing the old Marvel comics in best ofs put together by Simon Furman. There will be an out-of-continuity miniseries like Elseworlds called Transformers Evolution. That did eventually happen, but that was a while, if I remember right.
Yeah.
IDW is in talks with Hasbro about making a toy of some sort. All right. I wonder if they were talking... No, this is 4 years out. They couldn't have been talking about Drift. Cybertron Starscream versus Vector Prime in package. I guess this is how... Yeah, this is how we get the Galaxy Force Starscream.
Yeah.
And that was, if I recall correctly, yeah, it was in that weird, like maroony red gray something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Griff. It was the hot. It was what was it? The hot rod. The like really pointedly like, hey, I hate hot rod comic. With the weird Decepticon combiner. Preview of the Cybertron Earth map. The Florida Toys R Us fan event is where they revealed Armorhide. That's kind of cool. First look at Autobot Long Rack. Oh yeah. Altered States Magazine coverage. If I remember right, Altered States Magazine is not an existing website anymore.
No, it is definitely a parked random AI topic web page if you try to click straight on it.
So yeah, they had SDCC coverage. Oh, someone stole the license plate from the truck. It was yellow and said Prime 1. Hasbro is offering some Transformers toys as a reward. Okay. What about money? The Transformers.com fan forum is up. Cybertron Tactics. Fans of Star Wars should be familiar with the ongoing subline to the Star Wars toy line titled Tactics. Sounds like we might be getting Transformers Attack. I still have to play Tactics someday. I've never actually played with any of those things.
I am sure that we did at a Botcon.
Oh yeah, like on a table
because it was like there were a couple of them that had like big missiles.
Yeah.
And a couple of them that were like melee, where it had like a big hand.
I remember.
Twist it.
There was a tactics tournament at an early TFCon I went to. And I tried.
Maybe it was a TFCon?
Yeah.
I remember a bunch of us, so I would have assumed it was you as well. And somebody had like a Ziploc bag full of them and splayed out on a table in a hotel room.
That was not me, I don't think. I know I saw them at BotCons, like on the floor, and thought like, oh, one of these days I'll mess with that. And I never really did. I want to play metagame though. I want to play like competitive tactics, like hard metagame tactics. I want to get the tactics scene resurrected again. Okay, so the Earth map thing was a bunch of like actual like product previews. This is previewing Buzzsaw. Orion Pack story and profile now online in English. SDCC exclusive Legends of Cybertron Skywarp repaint Thundercracker at Botcon. I think that happened. Because I think I got that giveaway at that Botcon, but maybe I'm misremembering. News from the Hasbro panel. 4 Alternators re-decos scheduled, 5 new molds coming. No World's Smallest coming. No G.I. Joe Transformers crossover. No War Within. Trying to put older, harder to find alternate. So at the time, Trax, Meister, and Shockblast were hard to find. I don't remember. They're planning a Mirage. Soundwave is going to be a helicopter in the movie. That name will change. Universe is finished, save for store-exclusive releases.
And whenever they bring it back later.
Yeah. Seacon's Green Landfill Jetfire Decepticon repaints may become Hasbro Toy Shop exclusives. Minicon Battle Packs will be repaints for the first wave, all new molds from that point on. Hasbro will begin introducing larger alternators at a higher price point. That did not happen either, if I recall correctly.
That did not happen. I remember them talking about it, because I remember the discussion was they wanted to have something like an Escalade, which is a, big SUV vehicle, but it couldn't fit in the same price point as like a 2-door coupe. And that was like a design thing that they bumped up against.
Yeah, wasn't Alternators Optimus Prime kind of the end result of attempts to expand Alternators or something like that?
Yeah, that was I think the biggest one, except for maybe kind of sort of the like GT50 that's Mirage, but that was because Mirage was a lot more, I want to say, dense in its actions than because Prime's problem as a pickup truck is that it was like a big open bed. So there was like no place to hide the cheaty stuff that needed to be there.
Yeah, and his front hood area, if I recall correctly, absolutely sucked to transform. Oh, Robot Lurkeeper's saying apparently the Tactics meta was G1 Megatron and Cybertron Megatron because they could resurrect each other indefinitely due to the way a rule is worded. All right, there we go. Gonna run that Mega Megatron meta.
No, that might be Hero Clicks.
They did not have Transformers Hero Clicks.
Okay.
I also when I mess with the Tactics, it was just on a table. So if they had printed rules, then that'd be pretty funny. All right, so that was the SDCC panel. We're into Summer K-Fest. So there's Robot Masters. Oh, I might have picked up Robot Masters Thundercracker and Skywarp. I can't remember. Yeah, no, Alternators. Well, MP01 and Binaltech Smokescreen were revealed on the same, like in the same event, if I recall correctly, or in the same block of time. That was the big push. It was BT01 and MP01 were like, or MP1 were like, they're doing collector Transformers like Soul of Chogokin. Oh my god! And they were like potentially even just going to be one-offs for all we knew. And yeah, like Lee Cal was saying, like, MP1 sorta looked fine next to Alternators in alt mode. And so for a time, Alternators were just sort of considered to be the masterpiece line that goes with him. Even though the robots all looked kind of funny in comparison.
Yeah.
All right. Final preview from Junior's Florida event was Blur. So yeah, they were showing the Armada retools. That's kind of cool. And Armorhide. Okay, the Hasbro Panel Transformers the movie promo trailer. I'm sure this is on YouTube somewhere, so you can probably just look this thing up. Oh, hang on, I got some updates. Here is the battle whatever Megatron with his hat removed. That is disgusting. That he has little earlets that look like his brain. That's horrifying.
Yeah.
The mudguard from the SDCC truck. I opened the wrong thing. Hang on. There we go. It was a funny-looking lady robot posing. And then we got some tactics shots for those who want to remember. The meta. Logo's coming in with the archive.org link on SDCC, I'm guessing gallery? Yeah, gallery.
A little bit ahead of me, yeah. Comic Con 2005 gallery.
Whoa, look at all this. I wonder if clicking on the images will do something too.
It goes to a thing where it didn't pull the image for the first couple I've tried.
Damn it. Well, I can still see the fuzzy images here, I guess. The Costco label. Oh yeah, the mud flap is Alita. Yeah, looking at the silhouette more. Yeah, these big cardboard promos of packaging art were things I would like to know whatever happened to them, because they're kind of cool. There's the Alternators display. Does page 2 work? No. Okay. What about page 3? No. Okay. That's cool to get a glimpse of it, at least. Very fuzzy glimpse. Thank you, Logos, for digging that up. Adam Rockmore, Prime having Alita on his mud flaps is tantamount to a man having his spouse printed onto his socks. True?
You don't?
I don't, myself. But you know what I do have? I have closing comments and thoughts by Chris Kickback on SDCC. Trying to figure out what the big surprise was. Yeah, I would agree. I think it was supposed to be the date getting confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
Non-Transformer stuff was a sneak preview screening of the new Superman movie. The Optimus Prime license plate was found. It was stolen but retrieved, and the person who retrieved it got a 20th anniversary Optimus Prime. Do we know they were not the person who stole it?
I just found it.
look what I found
here in my backpack.
Apparently, look at this. The red was just a giant decal they put on the truck.
The sides were beginning to peel and creases became visible. So apparently they didn't have good vinyl wrappers back in 2005.
Or they just maybe this all came together during setup. They
yeah.
were like, leave that truck there. All right. Slap this vinyl on it. Put a tarp over the rest. All right, possible lineup for Star Wars Transformers. Let's see. Luke X-Wing, Darth Vader TIE Fighter, Grievous Wheelbike, Obi-Wan Jedi Starfighter, Boba Fett Slave 1, Darth Maul Sith Infiltrator, Anakin Starfighter, Snowtrooper Atsit, Clone Trooper Arc 170, Emperor Palpatine Star Destroyer, and Jango Fett Slave 1. This is not entirely off, if I recall correctly. This came from Rebel Scum, by the way.
All of those seem right.
Yeah, was Palpatine a Star Destroyer? I can't remember. I thought he ended up being his shuttle, if I recall correctly.
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Because the Jedi Starfighter, I remember having a problem where there was a pin that prevented the ball socket shoulder from working.
Yeah.
We're still far away from the peak one, which was the Yoda Star Wars Transformer. That thing kicked ass. Hasbro's...
And it's no longer the slave one, it's the... Fire spray something or other.
Oh yeah, the fire spray.
Slaves are bad, and it took them 15 more years to figure that out or something.
I have a bunch of fire sprays from Star Wars Unlimited, the card game. All right, possible lineup. Hasbro's Ninjatron. We're still in July. Hey, look, we're going at pretty. Considering our usual pace, we're doing a pretty good job.
We've not hit a 2-hour tangent on why certain people are horrible.
We don't have an 18-page email response directly from Brian Savage to a person who emailed him. Fire Spray is also a good Transformers name, you know. Hey, I would be down.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hasbro's second quarter earnings jumped 56% thanks to Nerf, Transformers, My Little Pony, and Littlest Pet Shop. By contrast, the game segment fell 12%. Oh. Due to a decline in trading card game. Ooh. Uh-oh.
What was... Let me see.
Yeah, what set was it?
Sets by date. Yeah, that's what I was going to pull. So what's that date?
July 18, 2005.
So 2005, early 2005. So yeah, that makes sense. Kamigawa block.
Oh, was it not well received at the time?
Yeah, no. Kamigawa was.
Oh, I see Ali Convoy posting Kamigawa block ellipses.
Yeah.
Look, yeah. All I know about Kamigawa is that's where ninjutsu came from. It seems neat. I've seen people do neat promos.
So this is the time frame in Magic where see the next block is Ravnica block, which was gangbusters.
That was huge, right? Like that.
Ravnica was a big turnaround for a bunch of things.
Right after this, so in time with the fall, they were moving right into Ravnica.
Yeah, Ravnica is October release.
Okay.
But yeah, so Champions to Betrayers to Saviors of Kamigawa was it was so top down. Yeah, it was tuned down. Yep, here's the 20-minute tangent. Yep. So Mirrodin Block was way powerful, which came out the year before because it was artifacts, and a bunch of broken stuff that like affected things. And still, a bunch of those cards are played cards in formats where they're allowed. Kamigawa had a bunch of just because ninjutsu was in Betrayers, so champions. Legend creature type was replaced by the legendary super type. Wall creature type was freed from the associated rules. Each wall creature was changed to have defender keyword. Mechanics was splice onto arcane and bushido and soul shift. So splice onto arcane was very parasitic. You can only that only works with itself. Bushido was an upside. It was flanking, pretty much. Soul Shift was on spirits, and when a spirit died, basically you could go to your graveyard or to your library, I think, to find something of lesser CMC. Graveyard to find something with lesser CMC.
Okay.
So the idea was you had a big spirit and then it died, and then a lesser spirit showed up and then it died, and then the lesser one died. Or no, it's to its owner's hand. Not even came into play. It's back to the hand, so you could get more out of it. Betrayers then introduced ninjutsu and offering ability allows the player to partially pay for a spell by sacrificing a creature of a certain creature type and let this spell be played as an instant.
Oh, I have Umezawa's Jite with my Flame War deck. I know that card. Yeah, I purchased that on the island. By the way, the next news item had a thing about a scan of a New York Daily News article, and I ran it through Wayback Machine, and the only capture was 10 years later to show me a 404 page.
And then Saviors introduced epic spells. So epic, it was like an epic sorcery, and you played it, and then you couldn't play any more spells for the rest of the game. But it had a big thing that would basically proc each turn.
Mm-hmm.
And then channel, an ability similar to cycling that represents fading barriers between the spirit world. Yeah. A bunch of just stuff, and it was very soft.
They just got to make it more neon, and then it'll be more interesting.
Well, it was something that I think, I want to say there was after. This is quite a ways after some of those. There were some rounds of hey, you guys really messed with shit. Quit breaking things because this causes problems. And then Ravnica came along and was well done beginning to end. After that was Time Spiral, which had some busted stuff through it.
So I
Shadow
recall.
Lara, Zendikar, Scars of Mirrodin, Innistrad, Return to Ravnica. Oh, it took that long to get back to Ravnica. Okay.
Aaron, do you recall Energon Sharkticon just coming out again on a Universe card?
Yes.
So that did happen. I don't remember that at all, but that's...
I think so.
Apparently there was a photo to go with this news item from S250. I just don't remember the Sharkticon reissue. Good for him. Happy Pride. Yeah, good, yeah, you're right. You're right, Rebel Lore Keeper. Oh, okay. Got the hookup. Logos is there. All right, here we go. Yeah, it did happen. There it is. I don't remember this at all. Okay. Wait, Universe, and it's a Rid card? Or was this just what the cards looked like back then?
Huh.
Okay, similar to the reissue of Steam Hammer with the Universe card. I sort of remember what that one looked like. Maybe this is just was the Universe card back then.
Yeah, that was still when they were doing the horizontal cards, but that seems like a vertical card bubble almost, because the horizontal cards were frequently across the whole thing.
Yeah. Oh, right. Rid had like a darker. What do you call it? It had like a darker palette, if I recall correctly. By the way, since it's been, I think, 10 years now, check it out. It's a Transformer packaged in alt mode. Weird, huh?
Yeah.
Was it a Siege thing? Look! It's a Transformer on a bubble card. I don't remember if that got weird, too. Why did they stop doing this again? So, if I recall correctly, they said they, packaging them in robot mode made more kids aware that they were actually robots.
Yeah.
Which implies that, and this is kind of wild to think about, that there were Transformers that went unsold because there were kids who had no idea that the toy was a robot. They thought it was just a car and didn't want it.
Yeah. Didn't have the same shelf presence as other things did. I remember, was it a Botcon where somebody asked about it, and they talked about, like, they kind of did A/B tests on kids in, like, their play labs or whatever that they have. And it was like, it was something overwhelming. Like, hey, which one of these do you want? And it's the same toy, but one was packed as a robot and one was packed as a vehicle, and it was like 80-20 robot over vehicle. It wasn't like some coin flip something close. It was, I want that one. Why would you show me this garbage? And it's like, well, you see, it's the same toy.
By the way, Robot Lore Keeper, all of Animated was packaged in alt mode. I'm pretty sure. It was. Aside from the twins, Jetstorm and Jetfire, I think most all of Animated. Well, no, the leader toys weren't.
Yeah, but leader toys weren't.
The deluxes were. Yeah, the leader class toys were in Robo mode, but the deluxes were and Voyagers were in alt mode. With very, very bombastic in style guide art by Marcelo Matier. Aaron, something funny's about to happen, but before we get to that, new Galaxy Force and Binaltech picks, Burger King Transformers at the Allspark. Aaron, scroll up past here.
Huh?
What's happening?
It's collapsing. It's the collapse.
What's happening? The new Botcon.com. Galaxy Force wallpapers. Tokyo Toy Show. Some Transformers comic info. Hey, featured collection, Dragon Claw. After letting our Transformers collection showcase forum grow and grow, we finally felt we had enough in here to acquire our first featured collection. So today we present the insanely huge and amazing collection of 2005 board member Dragon Claw. His collection was voted for our first feature set by the posters of the 2005 boards. So without further delay, check out this collection of over 100 pictures by clicking here. Anyway, some Transformers movie news from around the web. Full Earth map preview. New magazine scan showing Sonic Convoy. Aaron, we can just get to the end of the year today, if this is the rest of it.
Maybe, yeah. That'll make the panel real easy, too. Oh, back half of the year, just blank.
What if I click on one of these? What happens?
It just goes to a nothing page, yeah.
Just going to click the next
page.
What?
I wonder if there's like a formatting issue.
Yeah, let me. I'm just gonna. Okay, we're coming back. We're coming back.
Yeah, look,
and we're back. Okay, it comes
going and reading the matrix code, looking at the source info from the page. There's just nothing there.
Whoa, it's weird. So it's only about two pages of this, so it's not like an emergency. It's Binaltech images, 1 cent shipping at Repro Labels. Botcon figure preview online. Guessing that's from 05, so that's from that box set. I think we might have looked at that by accident at some point. 2 packs at Toys R Us, clear images of Binaltech Blue Prowl, IDW says they are going to republish Dreamwave trade paperbacks. I can't remember how all that played out. I think they did. I can't remember.
I know that some of them got reprinted, but I don't.
Oh, it was BuzzClaw that they showed. Okay, at Botcon, it was BuzzClaw.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember that era of going into the comic shop, because that was when the comic shop that I would go to was like on the way home from work.
Yeah. Oh,
so I was in there like a couple times a week as a third space.
Ali Convoy says the Armada Omnibus fell apart because the pages were really cheaply glued in.
Okay.
So some of it came out at least. Fully painted skins with new decals. Alright. Original voice actors very unlikely in the Transformers movie. It'd be funny if this actually just was how they posted it. It's like, look. Unlikely.
Some of them are old. Some of them are no longer alive.
We called Chris Latta. He didn't pick up, so we assume the rest are uninterested. Oh, here we go. Oh, okay. Don Murphy. I will no longer post on my message board. Don Murphy has never been an individual to hide his feelings on certain topics, so when an online journalistic magazine, Cinescape, posted up tidbits from a source who put a twist on some comments Don Murphy made in his message board, Don became jaded. Murphy had requested the article be taken down, claiming it showcased baseless opinions as facts and misportrayed what he stated, edited and deleted due to threat of lawsuit by Don Murphy, Transformers movie producer. A few hours passed before the article was taken down. Anthony Ferrant of Cinescape issued the following reply to Murphy, edited and deleted due to the threat of lawsuit by Don Murphy, Transformers movie producer. There's been no indication if Don Murphy has indeed decided to cease his postings to the Transformers fan community to his message board, other than posts of the email conversation. If this is true, then the most regular and reliable source of information about the movie has ceased, leaving many in the dark for the many long months ahead. I vaguely recall some of this. Oh, I see why we're posting this. Okay, in the alternate chat.
Oh, yes. Scroll up a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, there was these robot mode packaged Voyagers that I don't entirely recall.
I do recall those robot packaged Voyagers.
Because this is what I saw.
Wave. Yeah.
This is what I saw almost all the time. These ones I notice are monolingual, so maybe that's why I never saw them.
All the old stuff was monolingual as well.
No, this is what I saw. This is trilingual.
Oh, I guess. The Starscream is monoling.
Yeah. The robot mode ones, because this Optimus is also monolingual. The robot mode one. But no, I from the most part, I only ever saw the line in alt mode packaging other than the leaders. And here is the maroon Starscream, for those who don't remember. But yeah, is there any way we can dig out the pre-lawsuit version of this post? Because it's not going to be easy, because I think that all happened in the span of like 24 hours.
Yeah, because if you scroll up to the next thing that's actually a story that's written out, it's Tony Bacala just being like, Jesus Christ.
Oh, okay. So first up, James McDonough and Adam Paddock talk about the Dreamwave bankruptcy. Don Murphy situation update. Long night. First off, thanks the fans who spoke about the topic, showed their support for us over here. Spoke with Don Murphy again as of 10:30 this morning at a non-confrontational conversation regarding the entire lawsuit situation started yesterday. In the conversation, he expressed his regret for coming heavy. Don Murphy comes heavy, his words. He was reacting to several days of situations of negative false hype, and it seemed to have burst here. After this conversation, I have to say I could not ask for anything more from the man. I was pissed he came at me in a way. He apologized, and that should be that. We both left the conversation in a positive light. I think this relief situation should be done. Urge all fans to support me in the site when being attacked. Do the same here. Let the situation fade out. Yeah, I vaguely recall that this was a calamitous mess that was very much Don Murphy's fault for the most part.
Yeah.
Because look, there's having read Don Murphy message board posting updates from the past 2 years of news here. It should be pretty clear that the dude was utterly goon-brained in the aughts.
Yeah. Was it Alley Convoy? Was it archived? Do you have a?
Oh yeah, we got.
I tried to search for the original thing.
Here we go. It was Okay, so the removed things we got.
Okay.
Here. Thanks to your article and your refusal to remove it, I will no longer post on my message board, Murphy states in an email to Cinescape. All Transformers fans will know it is thanks to the shoddy journalism at your magazine. Then Adam from Cinescape said, none of this obviously makes what happened right, but I want you to know if the website was still one of my day-to-day responsibilities, this would never have happened. Why did he want those removed?
Probably because I would bet that is because that is potentially libelous or slanderous, calling a
shoddy journalism.
Shoddy journalism.
Magazine.
Yeah. If the website was one of my day-to-day, like it's very directly potentially talking theoretically litigious nonsense.
Led to this. Hey there, Deltatron. We're just reminiscing on the grand Don Murphy crash out of 2005. Robert Lurkerby, thank you. I'll tell you why I wanted to get rid of this, because edited and deleted due to the threat of lawsuit by Don Murphy, Transformers movie producer. Because for those who just got here, this is what we found on the front page. And I remember there was a lot of the reason why I'm a little bit mean to Don Murphy in this situation is I recall that the fallout of this included a lot of social collateral damage amidst our message board community. And Don Murphy came away completely unscathed in a way that he did not deserve. He should have suffered more. But he did not. He went back to his stinky message board full of weird aughts internet boys who all post weird 2000 era garbage. But no, Cypher, if you had to be on TFW for this. Basically, a bunch of Murphy nonsense. It just came slopping into TFW like as though a volcano full of sewage exploded. And as a result, TFW people went to his message board to go continue the fight as retaliation. And to make him go away, several TFW people who went to his board were punished for doing so. And it left a lot of stinky marks on friendships afterwards. And Don Murphy forgot the whole thing happened, which...
I want to say this is another of the like precursors of the TFW rule of like leave other sites drama at other places for the love of all that's good and holy.
Yeah, something like that.
Where it was just like I don't care what somebody said over at his website. That's his website. That's not our website.
Well, specifically, it was also because he was waving the word and this is also why it pissed me off a bit, because he was waving the word lawsuit around, but with the acumen of a toddler waving a baseball bat.
That too.
You know that he's never going to actually hit you because he can't hold the thing up long enough, and he doesn't know how it works. So, but that is also. But
also, as soon as somebody starts saying lawsuit, you can't be like, "Oh, you silly goose." You have to be. All right, then this needs to be discussed between lawyers, because
that has also always been the ultimatum on TFW is the moment lawsuit comes up, it's okay, drop it, because we don't want to have like, what is it, like, we don't want to stake reputation on the idea that someone could start a court fight over a message board / website, so just let it go, that kind of thing. Cindy and Scott, the days when you could just say the word lawsuit on the internet, everyone would act like you just pulled a gun. Yeah. So that was very silly. I was wondering when that was going to happen. I thought that was in 2006. Do you think, Aaron, that might have something to do with all this stuff getting fouled up? Like a really, like, panicked, fast, don't get lawsuited edit job? Might have, like, janked some of this stuff up?
Maybe?
You know, speaking as a
like
layman...
Going back in and editing, I'd have to... going back and editing this stuff is enough to, like...
Valkysis says, hey, it might happen again in 06.
Yeah.
Oh. But yeah, like you were saying, like, you could probably... It might be diggable, but it just seems like... Whatever the phrase is for, like, this seems like a really reasonable, obvious explanation. So in 2025, Don Murphy has made my life harder as well. So thanks again, Don Murphy. I'm going to keep portraying you with the stupid voice I keep doing.
The Don Murphy Crash Out Trilogy box set, TM.
Yeah. Botcon exclusive Fallback revealed. Yeah, this was Strong Arm as Outback, but they called him Fallback because they couldn't get Outback.
The other thing in the alternate chat that you kind of skipped over, I think, is the Dreamwave bankruptcy from the writer's point of view.
I missed
very long interview.
Let me post this into the text chat here so people can look at it at their leisure. Also, classic banner. This is from the writer's point of view. Funny books are a tough business. Wow. So let's see if there's any... I don't want to read the whole thing, but I want to see if there's any, like, standout dish in here.
Early days.
Although the Dreamwave higher-ups were constantly commenting on the problems with the staff and the desire to broom the majority of them, it didn't seem like anything was done to improve the situation. In retrospect, I wonder if that was somewhat intentional. Huh.
Here's the juice. What's the first sign that things weren't as they seems? Paddock. Hindsight's 2020, but there were a lot of things that should have been pretty good indicators, including the disparaging comments made by Dreamwave higher-ups about how many previous associates that had left on bad terms. Obviously, in retrospect, you see a lot of things that seem like neon signs screaming, "Get out!" But at the time, though, I accept a lot of things based on their word and the feeling that we wanted to be team players and help out. Honestly, if there's any real regret that I have, it's the fact that we were naive enough to take people's word at face value and trust them to be honest with us. Once we figured out that we were the only people who had our best interests in mind, it was practically too late. The first major thing I could look back on as a sign happened in late 2003, early 2004. I just did a lot of editorial work for Dreamwave, and they kept dodging the issue of paying me for it, which is always a great sign. At the time, it seemed it could be legitimate. They said they were very busy. A lot was going on. I even sent messages about it, asking me to be patient and saying things like, "I know I owe you big time. I will move quickly on getting you the payment info." Of course, it never happened. I never saw any money for that work. That's not even included in the amount of Dreamwave owes me because, unfortunately, I dropped the issue. I just decided to focus on the future work and payments. My way of showing that I was willing to work with them in good faith and be a team player when they were having trouble. They did a good job of fostering this impression that we were all on the team for the long haul. Any questioning was made feel like personally insulting disloyalty.
Oh, that's some Pete Sinclair ass. That's
yeah. In the summer of 2003, I noticed they started to get later and later with payments for scripts. Moving into 2004, problems started to get more obvious as other freelance writers started contacting us about their payment problems as well. We were pushing to get everyone paid, including ourselves. At one point, we were told that Dreamwave was having financial problems, and we offered to have our payments delayed temporarily so other freelancers could get paid. Again, we did this in part because we honestly felt that we all had a future with the company and wanted to help out. We later found out through the bankruptcy that most of the other freelancers hadn't been paid either, and were also owed substantial amounts of money. Our question is, where was that money going if they didn't pay us and didn't pay everyone else?
Man.
Strong was gone on. The books continued to sell numbers that would thrill any other small publisher, yet the creative teams for their highest selling books weren't getting paid for their work. There was a point where my girlfriend and I had to renew our lease, and I asked directly for a clear answer about the payment situation from Dreamwave, simply to know whether we would be able to continue to afford living in our place. I was told that everything would work out, just give them time, etc., etc. Long story short, my girlfriend and I ended up stuck with a lease, and none of the money I was promised would be there to pay for it.
Yeah, not to skip ahead, but down here, Paddock, asking for money was such a time-consuming ordeal. We had to ask other people to help do it for us. Remember, it wasn't about $40, $400, or even $4,000. We're talking about a debt of almost $40,000 between the two of us. That's...
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. But hey, he got those supercars.
That's right. And he still gets work to this, and he has a podcast now. Oh, yeah, look, we primarily dealt with Pat. And he wanted them to help pitch to re-up the Transformers license. Oh, man. Welcome back, Cliff. Yeah, just give us time on the pay. Words to die by. Ninjatron, I'll sing. Those previous associates mentioned earlier were apparently Udon.
Okay.
That makes sense. The Canadian company splits. Man, this is extensive.
Yeah.
Pat dropped out of contact abruptly as the matter started to unfold. Surprising. It's really funny to read that, like, within spitting distance of Pat Lee's, like, exit interview about how he did everything he possibly could. Oh.
You could talk to Pat directly right now. What would you ask of him? We'd ask, can we get our money?
And we'd ask for an apology and an explanation regarding the whole situation. Oh, this
talk
sucks.
To Pat directly right now. What would you say? Eat shit. I mean,
McDonough's saying standing up for ourselves definitely seems to have made things tougher. Like, I wonder if, like, they had trouble getting work because they're like, oh, these guys are making trouble over getting paid.
I could definitely see that being the, like, they're noisy.
Yeah.
Just because I was a little bit late paying them, they got super noisy about it. Jeez.
Yeah.
And not being like, yeah, they got noisy because you owed each of them $20,000.
We hoped
you owed each of them multiple months worth of pay.
We hoped that we wouldn't somehow be blamed for responding to the fact that Dreamwave wasn't paying us. Yeah, I could imagine in industry, like, some scumbags going like, these guys are going to complain if we don't pay them. Like, yeah,
definitely one of those, like, the first story that gets out versus what the truth is. You know, the salacious story of, oh, these guys, this Brad Mick that's really two people wanting to get paid like he's three people and just making it hard, you know. Yeah, we're a small publisher. It's not like we got Marvel money. Come on.
Aaron, look at the last...
Hey, look at my car.
Look at this last line. Check back shortly for an interview with Dreamwave's Pat Lee. Did that happen? Oh, we can see message board posters from 2005 here. I mean, this is on Newsrama. Wow. How does Pat Lee live with himself? You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, where does the money go from Pat Lee's Superman Batman work, past and possibly upcoming? That was the wildest thing. It's public knowledge. He owes $40,000 to a couple folks, and then he's just getting Marvel DC work and not paying them.
Dreamwave owes them $40,000. Pat Lee was just an employee and sole owner of Dreamwave LLC. Like, yeah, that's the gross stuff. So in town, there is a construction company that is like the third tier company. Like, you want company A to do your work if you can, and then company B's not bad, and then there was company like C that their logo was a big T and it would be like Titan, and then Titan would do something wrong and get sued, and then they would go out and like scrape off Titan, and then it would be some like tough construction with the same big T logo, where it's like, no, you see, all of the equipment was, you know, rented from Big T LLC, and Titan was just the contractor. Like, we leased everything out. So in reality, when they screw the pooch and it goes under, like, there's 2 office desks and 4 chairs in this broom closet that is the whole of the company's, you know, that's all that they own. Here, you can have it. Now we're going to have, you know, Trevor contractors.
I love Trevor contractors. They're my favorite.
Yeah. And just something else with a big T that can fit underneath, that like smaller letters can fit underneath the giant T, and go from there. It's been at least 5 company names that I can think of in the last decade and a half. Yeah, no, it's been longer than that. 20 years now since I went there.
Got a little update from Ali Convoy. Apparently, that the Pat Lee interview no longer exists. But more importantly, Aaron, I need you to read out loud for me David T. Allen's message board post that I've got here.
That's too bad for you, guy. I really feel bad for them, and I hope they are successful in their future endeavors. In business, it all comes down to the bottom line. I found people.
Actually.
business. Look, I'm looking at your screen, so it's slightly smaller, and I have old eyes. Okay, Christ, quit picking on me. People will always try to get the most for the littlest possible, and that's the way things have become. Instead of doing the right thing and being honest and upfront about things, I wish you Gus the best.
I want to report this post to a moderator.
Look, I don't know how baked in spell check was at this point in time.
It's just some of this is wild because I don't think we had like speak into your phone writing yet, and it's not just simple it's this is right that actually really, because at first this is the line, it was successful on futter and endeavors, where I was like, that's weird, but then seeing right with the W, I was just like, what? And then honest, I was like, is that text to speech? Maybe there was early text to speech. The username is just their people name. Yeah, that's, people just do that.
Yeah. Sort of weirdo just has their username as their real name.
Yeah. There's Andrew P. over here. Sean Walsh. It's fun seeing everyone already knew about this even back then. He goes to pay for his BMWs. I know Quesada isn't directly responsible, but if I were him... Also, some of these signatures, which are 06 era, I think, are also... Some of these are really strange. Oh, no, this was a capture from 05 still. Okay.
Yeah.
Dora and Boots. Oh, this is classic. So some of you may not have seen these before. I'm sure people still do this, but, you know, message boards. This is what I used to do as a late teenager, is this multi-quote replying type stuff, where it's like, let me handle the whole thread now, and it'll like break it all up and reply like bits and pieces at a time. I don't know if people do this anymore, but that's like some classic 2000s era internet message boarding. Anyway, Mallrats 10th anniversary coming up soon. And those aren't
Kevin
emoji,
Smith
they're emoticons.
Got Dogma back.
Yeah, I'm happy. That was in the saddest state for a little while of just like go pirate it.
Basically. Have you heard the story about how kind of that started? He had the story that I saw him, and it's Kevin Smith being Kevin Smith and talking about it. So if I don't get everything right, it's because he takes a long time to get through a story, and it's Kevin Smith, who's probably high as fuck. But he was talking about like, hey, it was like Weinstein had gotten the rights to Dogma after some like Disney, Viacom, like some weird splits. Harvey Weinstein had ended up with Dogma, and Kevin Smith kept going back like, hey, like on anniversary dates, hey, this is coming up, like, is there any chance we might do anything? And it'd be like talking to the people, whatever. And so then he had like reached out again, and it was like a couple days later he gets a phone call, hold for Mr. Weinstein. He's like, oh, hey, okay, something's going on. And he's like, so they had a short conversation about it, and he's like, hey, you know, Dogma whatever anniversary's coming up, and I forget the year. I think we might do something. With like, yeah. You know, that sounds like a great idea. You know, maybe we can do something with it. Blah 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 blah. Okay, yeah, I'll have my people look into that for you, and like we'll see what we can do. And then 2 days later, the expose hits of everything that kicks everything off. And yeah, Miramax. The expose hits that kicks everything off, that comes to his downfall. And he like was reaching back out later. He's like, yeah, man, like let it go for a couple weeks. He's like reached out. I was like, yeah, man, you know, like I wanted to know, you know, Harvey was talking about this, and you know, we'd like to know what's going on. And then the guy's like, you know, Kev, you know, I respect you and everything, but you know why he called you. because he had gotten info that this story was coming out and he wanted to know who talked. I was like, oh, okay. And so then it was on hold for quite a while again until a bunch of those things came up and it was able to be retrieved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm glad it's making its way into healthier hands.
Mm-hmm.
Miramax, the Bionicle movie company. Sorry, I just noticed we're also at the point where TV Magazine has revealed Arm Bullet, which was Dark Crumple Zone. So in Japan, Crumple Zone, Land Bullet, when he got upgraded, he turned into Arm Bullet, which I always liked as a name. An Alternator Shock Blast is out. Need them funny robots. Toy Galleries. Cybercon Transformers the movie panel info. Oh, this is... Okay, so Paul Hitchens... I guess this is kind of like an original version of what Paul Hitchens would go on to do with TF at the Moon, if I recall correctly. Of like just having gajillions of Transformers 86 movie info and production material. So a lot of this you all probably have already heard through your own research or whatever. Yeah, like Ironhide and Ratchet were supposed to be shot so much they fused together, which... Some of that stuff I would have loved to see the Nelson Shin directed versions of some of this stuff. Because, like, the first 20 minutes of that movie is, like, Nelson Shin going, like, I'm going to spend 10 movies' budgets on all of this and, like, going nuts with what he was asking people to do. Yeah, Fort Max name, Snarl stuff. So in 05, Paul believes the drawn and quartered scene was animated. I feel like that eventually got confirmed as not real. Just they had sound design done. Yeah, Griff, yeah, Arm Bullet, I had to buy Dark Cybertron to get that toy. Yeah, this is the whole weird thing about, like, Optimus Prime getting up, right? Out of nowhere. Optimus Prime was always meant to die in the movie, no matter what you hear. It was a Hasbro choice, mandated, not a choice by the writers. Did you accidentally throw Arm Bullet's wings away too? I don't believe I did, because I remember plugging those things on. But yeah, Transformers the movie info, I think, is a lot more organized nowadays. But I froze on this for a while, so if there is anything in here that never got re-disseminated, hopefully someone can yank it out and give it to related parties. Universe Devastator is coming. I believe that was Build-Drawn. We also got a link from Logos in the Alterna chat for some Cybercon galleries, which I'm going to pull up here. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, the quartering storyboards. Thank you, Ollie Convoy. Hey, look, it's Chris Kickback. So here's the Cybercon that happened in 05. Oh, God, there's like 19 pages of photos. I'm not going to look through all
372, Pena family, J.E. Alvarez, J.E. Alvarez's crotch, Colin humping J.E. Alvarez, Elvin Pena. That's Bran, I forget his board name. I'm potentially ahead of you or behind you, maybe. I don't know. I'm recognizing faces.
I'm just going to paste the gallery link and the YouTube link in the chat so people can check it at their leisure.
Big stacks of stuff. Kickback pretending to phalate Colin with a twin twist or maybe a top spin. I always forget which one of those is which.
Let's see.
That's his image.
Look at what cameras looked like back then. Oh, sorry, did you say 23?
28. It's right. It's.
Oh, this one. Oh, yeah, this was his signature for a little while.
Yeah.
Here's what a dealer room looked like in 2000. Wow, that is a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, look, TF Source is in there. Their logo is still the same.
Look, they paid for it, all right.
I like the vines hanging from the columns.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a bad logo. It's not a bad logo. I just never realized that it never, I guess, never really changed.
Mm-hmm. Look, you don't have to like always be updating logos for no good reason.
I like the table here that just has a giant British flag hanging off the edge.
Oh man, combiner gift sets for $400.
Oh wow. Well, okay, yeah, Defense was $400.
Diaclone Dinobots for $120.
Oh man. Seacons are $1,000.
Well, it was like Seacons and Technobots were the ones that were massively underproduced or something like that.
Yeah, like later ones.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Scott, at this point, the TF Source logo has been around longer than any version of the Transformers logo was used by Hasbro. The brand is strong. That big Gundam I remember seeing at a bunch of shows.
Styling online in some of his earliest incarnations.
What was this thing? Oh, it must be a custom. Okay. Has the TF Source logo been around longer than some people in the chat? Oh, boy.
Maybe.
I don't remember when they started. Special appearance, bye. Yeah, no, Lee, that giant Gundam. I remember, as a younger fan of robots, I was like, "Is that thing cool?" And people were just warning me away from it constantly. There's Peter Cullen 20 years ago. Why is a construction worker in here? What's on Chris's shoulder?
It's a Stickfa, isn't it?
Or is that a Zvoz? That's too blocky to be a Stickfa, I think. There's some Japanese Armada. These photos are actually really decent, all things considered, for the era.
Yeah, this is a great set of like slice of life of aughts convention.
Yeah. Brickmates. Oh, maybe? Because, yeah, it's too blocky to be... It's too blocky and brickish to be Zvoz, or maybe Zvoz, but definitely not Stickfuss. I've been looking at Stickfuss for years now.
There's an early Pete Sinclair photo.
Oh, where?
133.
Oh, God. Where am I? I'm on 108. I'll see you later.
Come on. Pick up the speed, old man.
I'm guessing this is Botcon showing these things? Or, no.
Those are custom. Those are customs. You can see that's some, like, house paint.
Yeah. I'm seeing the glaze now. When did Peter Cullen's con appearances shift from this to modern Cullen? After the 07 movie, and he became incredibly rich. But also the shift in convention culture as well. The rise of people who want to mob people with Funko Pops, etc. Peter Cullen becoming 20 years older.
Yeah. Still in a pre-Funko era here.
Cypher, this is for you. Look at all the built-to rules. Was it you who was looking for some of these? Look at that. $75 for the Energon Optimus. What are these? Is this alternate? Oh, okay, it's Binaltech. Yeah, Peter Cullen got specifically, as far as I understood it at least, quite a lot of money for doing the very successful movies. Oh, I skipped. What did you say it was 133?
Yeah, you skipped past.
Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah, look at that. Oh, my disappointing son.
Shows up again in like another 30.
I guess this was raffle stuff.
I want to say, yeah. Oddly up on the dais there.
This is pretty cool. This is going for comfort, too, because it's like the costume exists, but right here in the crotch, where your legs have to move and do stuff, it's like, we're just doing shorts. We're just doing fabric.
not getting jabbed repeatedly by a hard cardboard edge.
Yeah. Yeah, like Lee said, like Frank Welker has been well off. Frank Welker is classically known as, like other voice actors described him as, you want to hate him because he has so much money, but he's so nice. Because he worked in film doing the sound of anything that had to sound
yeah,
emotional.
any animal that had to make a sound or emote at all was Frank Welker, and he got paid and royalties. There's a couple whole like animatic things. You can pull 1 or 12 photos out of Colin punching the cameraman.
Looking at more of this dealer table with all the Euro G1 stuff.
Another era, huh?
Yeah. Sue Blue says he plays a mean round of golf too. Damn. Look at all these adorable children. It's Duncan!
It's like 12.
I know. He's barely out of high school. Oh, this is the whole thing. This is good old Bradders getting harassed with photos of twin twists.
It's a note for us. We need to come back to this to pull images out. First off, we'd like to say a thankful remembrance to all of those
who've
been with us for so long, and then like,
and we'll just show this.
Duncan peed on by Colin is what the thing that Duncan's got on him.
They were having
there.
fun with their Post-it notes.
Yeah.
All comics $1. Twin Twist sucks was because we had our friend Brad had the message board name Twin Twist, and for whatever reason it was a thing throughout the entirety of the 2000s to constantly assert to him that Twin Twist sucks. To which he would say no, and then he would make a Twin Twist do the thing. Culture was simple then.
Yeah. Again, it came down to the fact that like the boards was a very small group. And so if you said, Twin Twist sucks, it would be a thing, and you knew, like, yeah, okay, we're having fun and joking along. Now if somebody comes in and says, Twin Twist sucks, it's like, what do you want?
That infant is now 20 years old.
Yeah.
I assume these two possibly are now married for 20 years. Possibly. Who knows what happens?
Divorced for 18. He's wearing an MPO1 around his neck.
Damn. That's not an insignificant amount of weight to have hanging off your neck.
And as a small cord. Maybe I'll give him some props there.
Yeah. Peter Cullen swagger. He's still having a good time.
Yeah.
Cena Nuva has the proper take. Twin Twist is of a subjective quality. Everyone is welcome to their opinions. As we point at a person who we all know we're talking about. Brad over here is of a subjective quality.
And it ends on some art shots.
That looks delicious. Oh, long exposure stuff. That's always fun. Very cool. In conclusion, Tin Twist is a land of contrasts. That cake is now 20 years old, true.
Yeah.
All right, let's plow a little bit more here. We're making. Granted, we had a bunch of news items just vanish on us, but we're making some pretty good time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, RD Universe Devastator. Yeah, this is. I always like this RID Universe Devastator as just this is the new Constructicons. That's how I had them for a long time in my shelf back on the island. This is Pat Lee talking about the bankruptcy, the interview that I guess no longer exists. I wonder if he yelled the word lawsuit. Micromaster Aerial Bots, Botcon 05, Stuff, Biotech Spec. Yeah, I remember when they would, like, Botcon would, like, reveal figures, like, one at a time for, like, 100 years leading up to the show.
Yeah, because you got to get them excited to pay for the thing that they were forced to pay for anyway.
Yeah. Screenshot that seems to have G1 characters, continuity resolution between series. I wonder what this was, because this is wrong. But I can't remember if Galaxy Force had, like, the thing Armada had with the extras in the opening episode, who were just on-model G1 models. Yeah, Pat Lee denies the very obvious financial fraud and blames his victims. Yeah, Cypher, like, yeah, this is not what happened, but I'm wondering, like, so I'm just like, what impetus caused this to be something that they thought maybe happened? Oh, is a flashback of G1 characters hand-drawn around the Omega log. Oh, it must have... Okay. It's like for like a pull back on a still image kind of shot for like a second.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Jipe says there was one shot of ancient Transformers who founded the colonies or something, and they were all G1 guys. Okay, yeah. So it's like they used old G1 models as a little, like, winky wink. That makes sense. Because that's, like, Armada Episode 1 had the whole thing where, like, the opening shots on Cybertron, if I remember right, had a bunch of generic robots, but they were also, like, models that were derived from the Sunbow model sheets, just because, like, why not?
Yeah.
And then it led to all this, you know...
speculation.
Yeah.
It must be in universe.
We got Sony PSP Transformers wallpapers. Yes! Finally.
Computing platform of the future.
That's right. I have a web browser on mine.
Please note you'll need to upgrade your PSP firmware to version 2.0 to use these wallpapers.
Oh no. I remember
firmware is already available in Japan with the North America release scheduled for August 12th.
Wasn't that a thing with the PSP where eventually it had firmware that there was like a certain firmware you didn't want to go to because that would kill all the emulators? And then you had to like...
Well, it's frequently what it is. Like, somebody found a back doorway. If you've got the Top Golf and Hannah Montana game, you put one in, then you flip it over to the other game, and then it unlocks the back end as the disc tries to eat itself, and then you can get into stuff. That's frequently how that stuff would work, even with, I want to say, like PS2 and PS3.
Good old disc
it was swapping. Like specific discs that if you did a thing would get it into a state, or were like, I'm trying to remember, there was one of them that the disc basically, like the authentication on it, like the authentications were supposed to be like, this disc is authentic, and one of the games it was basically like, whatever you've put in is authentic. And so then it was really easy to just, like, you had that disc, and then you could convince it to, like, run off of a thumb drive or whatever, because it was like, it was just like, yeah, anything that you give me is now authentic, so sure, I'll play this. And then this is 2005 was after the era, but I think I've told the story before. When I was in the dorms my freshman year at Purdue, I had a CD burner on my computer, and that was still relatively new technology because it was like a couple of bucks still a disc at that point in time. But there were multiple people that had Dreamcasts, and Dreamcasts copy protection was non-existent, and so I had a little side hustle of go on LimeWire or Kazaa or whatever it was at the time, find the disc images, burn the disc image, and be like, hey, $10 per disc. And I had business. I did good.
If I recall correctly,
and it paid for it. It was like 1 in 5 of them still at that point in time would just eat the disc.
Yeah, if I remember right,
it would get 3/4 of the way through it and just be like, I'm not doing this. And it was that way for anything. If you wanted to burn a CD to play in your car, 1 in 5, 1 in 6 or so would just mess up, because
wasn't Dreamcast, it was disc swapping, and then eventually they figured out how to burn right into the ISO the thing you were doing to swap, but so you just put the disc in and it would itself just do the swap thing on the opening spin.
At the point I was doing it, it was just a matter of like, find the cracked ISO, drag it over to the drive, and away you go.
It's a good way to fund your tuition. I agree with Long was here. Ali Convoy wants to know what the statute of limitations is.
Generally it's 7 years.
Hey, okay, who cares? Yeah. Alan Weaver, I recall the PSP hard modding stuff. I was never, like, I had no idea how to do any of that, so I found that all very spooky. I think I had a SNES emulator running on mine for at least a brief period. Aaron, I also wanted to say this bit here. It says test shots of 3 Energon RC repaints and a G2 Cyberjet repaint. This here, I believe, were all Botcon toys.
Yes.
So this was S250 with a bunch of Botcon test shots. So they got pulled into this immediately as soon as new Botcon started.
Yeah, I remember this constantly being a thing that the Botcon people on various online things would also be upset about.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, right here. Ratchet and Ironhide test shots.
Yeah.
Oh, because this was wrecking their slow trickle reveal of the box set. Yeah, that's right. Well, it's a good thing that we patched up that leak in June or whatever. These are the ones that came with the Virulent Clones and Deathsaurus. Correct. Yeah. The 05 box set. Underrated box set, in my opinion, as far as just toys with decos. Aside from the part where you had to fix all the Buzz Claws and Virulent Clones. But yeah, no, I mean, Cypher, I totally get why they'd be annoyed. It's just, I thought, looking back, it's very funny, because it's like, before they start their process, something happens on eBay to close up the leak, and then the moment they start revealing stuff, the leaks just start specifically showing everything they haven't revealed yet. It's like a very pointed attack that probably was not on purpose. August 8th, the Burger King Cybertron promotion begins, by the way, so get out there. See me, seller. Here's everything in the other modes. Alternators license plate. Oh, sorry, I got some updates from Alterna chat here.
Oh.
This is what my Devastator looked like. Oh, no! This is the Build King one. Sorry, I'm thinking of the Build Drawn one. That was... No! Sorry, I mixed this up. I'm thinking of the one from Classics. That's what I'm thinking of. This one I never had.
Yeah, I don't think I ever had... I had the yellow... I still have the yellow one sealed in box somewhere. The original one... I want to say I had another one at some point in time.
Here is the shot that made everyone flip out. I could see, yeah, in 05, if this just gets shown to someone in isolation, that I probably was like, wait, what? About this too? Like, that's kind of funny, actually. I don't remember this at all, but... I like that Jazz is considered to be... Like, this is proper. He's Optimus Prime's right-hand man, so we're putting Jazz up here with Rodimus.
Mm-hmm. There's a very certain collector that is inside this house. Be careful what you say about Jazz.
Exactly. The evil, the vile, the nasty, the ridiculously named Dark Scorponok is released. I wonder what the backstory behind this is. Who's across from Prime? That was Ultra Magnus. I'll bring it up again. That's Ultra Magnus there. You can see the stacks on his shoulders. Oh, thank you, Alec. Yeah, this was my Devastator for years. I love this deco. I love this color layout. This looks so good in my opinion.
That's the Japanese?
No, this is the Classics 06 release.
Is that the Classic 06 release? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. This was my Devastator for several years. And I thought it was cool. Like, having the classic shelf of all the Classics 06 Decepticons with these as the Constructicons, I thought looked really neat. Like with, you know, Laser Gun, Megatron, and etc., all those guys. Overkill out of Grimlock. Like, it just looked like a really cool, like, motley sort of shake-up of a G1 cast. I kind of dug it quite a bit. Fan art submissions for the official Transformers Collectors Club newsletter. Get out your pencils, crayons, or $5,500 laptop. But only that laptop.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately down here, at someone got Joe Moore adding graphic tablets. Thank you. More Cybertron test shots on eBay. Is this super test shot week or what? So this was just a massive leak week, I guess. Mm-hmm. But you see what a massive leak week used to look like? It was some guy on eBay just putting them all on eBay. Good, honest, normal, swagger slightly, you know, like no one going like, I hope you credit me for all of these leaks, by the way, just so people know I'm the one who leaked them. It's like, shut up.
Just some dude at a factory that's getting paid pennies for a week's worth. Just like, I can make real money this way.
I don't inherently hate the idea of crediting. It's more so just when you have a certain tone behind the request and or demand for credit for having a test shot of something, it's like, calm down. You're not part of the Shadow Syndicate. Okay, Takara, Tomy and Takara sign an agreement. Takara dissolves March 1st, 2006. So that is, I guess, when the... So, yeah, this is why Takara was still just Takara for Galaxy Force. At that... Oh, okay. At that time, Takara will cease and all things will become Tomy. We do not yet know the truth, do we? I remember this, actually. There was, like, a little fear that, like, is this the end of Transformers in Japan? because the movie's coming in 07 too. So like, are we?
Well, it was a fair. Yeah, it wasn't like we weren't going to get Transformers anymore, but it was also like, I think at this point we knew that, or we had a much better idea of what like the load sharing was between Hasbro and Takara, and so like, hey, they do most of the engineering, and they're dissolving, they're going away. What's that mean?
Yeah. Because I think we also at that point were aware that, like, the easy example, we were aware that Mega Dinobot was something done without Takara's involvement. So the easy corollary was like, does that mean that's going to be the new peak? That's going to be the new bar is Mega Dinobot?
Yeah.
What's this? Tim Formas got engaged 20 years ago.
That wasn't the one that we were just mocking, was it?
No, so. Tim Formas is I think Tim Formas has always had the kind of swagger where he was hovering above all the mockery, because he was Swoop. He was Swoop Tim Formas, if I remember right. Mm-hmm. Cybertron Supreme Starscream Toys R Us Japan exclusive USA edition. A Beast Wars Buzzclaw repaint revealed as a test shot. What could that possibly be for? David Kaye joins Fox Sports Network. He signed a 6-figure deal to be the voice of Fox Sports, and is not going to be abandoning his role as Megatron in Transformers Cybertron.
Yeah. He's the voice of quite a few things.
Yeah.
And it's only like 1 or 2 of them actually require him to be doing regular work. I know a bunch of them. Was that one at a TFCon or something where he was talking about that?
Yes.
Where it was like, there was one of the gigs that he does, it's like he just goes into his closet for 30 minutes a week.
Yep.
Records a bunch of things, and then that's it.
And some of it's
30 minutes is all I need to get to pay all my bills each week.
Some of it's regional too. Like he'd be like, I'm the voice of like the brick in this region or something. If I recall correctly. But I think this is the rise of David Kaye, like also kind of being set for life for a little while.
Yeah.
Which is good for him. He was the voice of those dick pills. Let's see. Binaltech Wild Rider Black Widow postponed. Oh, this was going to end. Yeah, this is when the Black Widow repaint died on the vine, if I recall correctly. Hey, more new test shots. And if I remember right, like they were on eBay. I don't remember them being like viciously expensive either.
I mean, no, because again, it comes back to, like my red bulkhead was slightly more than what retail would be for bulkhead when he came out and animated. Like,
yeah,
all of that stuff was slightly more than, and then you pay shipping.
These ones might have been like the S250 era might have been a bit more expensive, but like I just don't remember it being that expensive because there was no.
It wasn't significantly more expensive. Like it was more expensive than if you were buying it.
There was no flippable profit to make by owning them either, because it's like there was no monetized YouTube coverage, for example. So like there was no reason other than pure interest to purchase them. Yeah, Valkysis, the animated era was the wildest. That's why most of us were buying them. Again, it's a fun piece of history to always bring back up, because people will look back on how we did stolen Chinese toys back then. And it's like, a lot of people were buying them because they were also cheaper than retail, free shipping, $7 prowls, and the line got delayed again. Let's just start buying the loose toys that are cheaper than retail anyway. And that lasted for a good decent amount of time, up until it collided with the rise of YouTube monetization. But even then, it in a lot of cases, that stuff still never went as wild as it could have gone. And it didn't have the deranged, blood-packed, sub-industry, whatever BS there is under it, as it appears to be right now. depending where you go and who you talk to or whatever. I don't know. Hey, there's a Botcon figure preview for Ironhide and Ratchet. Sorry, Ironhide and Ricochet. Sorry, who's Ratchet? Ratchet's not in the box set. Ricochet, that's a new character. Ironhide is a remolded head even. This got posted twice.
Hey, that the here link works.
Oh, well,
because again, how everything's hard coded. It takes you to figure preview on transformersclub.com. Takes you to the 2005 set sneak preview.
These weren't all here though. All
not at the time, no, but still fucking hard code in the dumbest way.
Let's look at that Ironhide. Yeah, look at that head. Look at that head. I love that head. The head's so goofy because it's doing the Ratchet crest as well, but the head's it's just kind of smeared across the forehead, so when it's all just red like this, you can't tell it's there. It's like an Easter egg. Oh, putting this here makes the head look worse. Because as long as you're not looking right at a picture of him, it's kind of like, oh, neat. It's a new head.
Yeah, I can see it in that until you see the big mohawk helmet.
They're like, hey, check this out. This angle where he's demonstrably got a fin on top of his head. This is
Griff is right. You should email them. They might not want to know about the leaks.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, we'll get to that. I just want to say, just looking at it one more time, I will say once again, this is a defensible set. I think this box set was pretty darn neat. It has, I can't remember a single scrap of the story behind it, but it's just a neat looking box set. It looks like a fight that's happening. The Autobots are all little. There's a big Decepticon with 2 bug minions. It projects playtime. Anyway, I should make sure that they know.
Again, this is I felt really good in Botcon 2005 seeing this. Was as far as we knew and may know now even still a short turnaround from the time of hey, you now have the license to let's make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 molds even in just this. With an extra repaint and a bunch of potential stuff, and was done pretty well. And then knowing that there was other stuff as well, and man, just so much potential was very visible in all of this, and was the classic. Sadly, as time went on, ... that just yeah.
All right.
Appropriate action. Thank you and bless.
Message has been sent. We will handle your questions as soon as possible. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. I don't. It's fine. They know my email. They know my email. Yeah, the all caps is it's so that they'll read it. I want to make sure they see that.
It's emphasis.
Yeah. Yeah, like Cypher said, also that box set was some old, some new. I thought that whole set, Ratchet included, banger set as an opener, as something that I believe that set, because they've always said that the 05 set was kind of slammed together very quickly. I believe that, and considering that context, I think that really elevates my opinion of the set too, because it's like, hey, you figured it out. You got some cool stuff together. Conflicting sources though, because Joe Morris says this came from Pete at Botcon, but Super Megatron says this came from a Pete Sinclair. So I don't know who these two individuals are, but they better sort that out. It's an interview with E.J. Sue at Comics Fan. That's still a website. 404 not found. Lucky Draw Skylinks. Huh?
That I do not remember. Let's see. The very, very distant chance that Wayback has caught that.
Jipe, yeah, Flame War was also from Botcon 2005. She was Ben Yee's, if I recall correctly. Like, that was specifically Ben Yee came up with the idea for Flame War. Oh, okay. M. Cypher says it's Cybertron Scourge in Skylink's colors. I remember that one now.
Okay.
Image and alternate chat, thank you. Yeah, I remember this now. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I remember being bummed out. It was a lucky draw, because I was like, this deco actually kind of looks neat. Like, I kind of would like one. Like, too bad. One bad kitty. Dark Liger Jack in package. There's some changes to the Cybertron Deluxe packaging. There is no longer a wraparound bubble. The artwork is being flipped. I remember this. Like, the graphic design on the packaging, like, changed slightly early on.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we asked about it at a Botcon, and the answer was incredibly, like, you know... What's the word I'm looking for? Not that exciting. It's just like, yeah, things needed to change for production reasons, and then they did. And it's like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Simon Furman's alignment is available for reading in Adobe Acrobat format on the Transforce website. That's a lot of words. So this is originally an exclusive to attendees of Transforce the convention in the UK. Limited edition G1 film cells from First Four Figures, calling all G1 collectors. In conjunction with Ryby Post, we got limited edition Transformers G1 film cells. These are original 35mm film mounted on a frame. I've seen so much stuff that looks like this, I can't recall precisely what this was.
Yeah.
Alignment PDF is archived on TF Wiki. Thank you, Ali Convoy. Yeah, I figured, like, if that's a PDF, it's gonna be out there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're revealing Deathsaurus based on Dezaurus. Sorry, Dezaurus. This is in the aughts. There were a lot of people with incredibly rigid opinions on how to pronounce Dezaurus, and whether it is Deathsaurus or Dezaurus or Dezaurus, or the dub truthers who were like, no, it's Deathsanrus. That is who it is. More of this I don't remember this Battlefield stuff at all. This feels like a huge launch of a line, and then maybe was it just the two? What's up, Sideswipe Prime? Did Combiner Wars use Dezaurus? Because I think at the time they were like, we don't think we can put death in there.
Mm-hmm.
Nuclear take Dezaurus greater than Deathsaurus. I don't. As long as we all know who we're talking about.
It's those regional accents that get you.
Yeah. Now, Hellbat to Elbat wasn't because they couldn't use the word hell. It's because of Batman the Hellbat suit existing under McFarlane Toys, is what I was led to understand. On the Livesaurus.
We're more than, what is it, 10 seconds into this video, so I think that profanity is okay.
Human elimination saurus.
No, that's just pooping. That's just going and eliminating, right? You can't.
Yeah, and Griff, that's what I was saying the whole time. I was like, if you got to switch names, surely we could, because Fellbat is so the reason why I like Fellbat is because it's a language thing. He, right, on the katakana side, he in Herubato comes from the same place, because the F sound in katakana is always done with fu, which is where the HU or hu sound would be, but because in Japanese you pronounce hu as fu, it's used as an F sound. So there's actual grammatic connotation to switch the H to an F from Hellbat to Fellbat that matches up with the katakana positions on the grid. Anyway, that's something that about 4 people care about, but near and dear to my heart. Elbat is really funny, though.
I wonder if Fellbat had came up in whatever whiteboard session, or if they were just like, just drop the H off, and they moved along.
This is like
If Fellbat got into the conversation, they would have been like, "Fuck, that's a better one, isn't it?"
This is old new.
Well, we already got the copyright taken care of, so I guess we got to go with it.
Well, this is old news now, but also some of the Lio Kaiser HasLab website graphics still said Hellbat briefly. So I am of the belief that the Hellbat Elbat change happened incredibly late in the process. And
that could be too. It was like, oh no, we got to change it. Elbat? Okay, sure, yeah go.
And because Elbat, the reason why Elbat is okay is because that's French. That is simply how you pronounce Hellbat in French, is Elbat. Because you don't pronounce H's. So it still works. No one listened to me about that either. I tried to explain why Fellbat is cool. I tried to explain why Elbat is funny. And everyone on social medias are just like, how can we get angry about it? And it's like, what if we embrace a global library of languages? People were like, Elbat, or get me some freedom fries. Aaron, do you remember freedom fries?
Yes.
It's pretty funny.
Exactly.
That was going around my feed recently. It was like because of news of the day. People were digging up old early aughts era like freedom fries era like signs. Oh, sorry, this is Bill's Toys and Games new assortments thing. So Swindle is newly on the August 2005 sheet. Oh, nothing else is highlighted the same way. Yeah, explaining the Bush era to folks going like, is this new? What's happening? And people are like, no. I actually had a conversation about that recently today with a friend of mine. Also, the final figure preview. Oh, they pulled all the images to then show the one that we saw. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that might also be the first time that we saw the big like board game box.
Yeah.
Thing.
That was a question leading up to that point because we'd seen those boxes for the G.I. Joe conventions. I remember I was one of the ones who was like, if this is all happening like this, I hope we at least get the cool box. And to their credit, we got the cool box.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, big Botcon update coming. Vector Prime answers more questions. Find out more by clicking the. Yeah, this was on the fan forum that I'm assuming has all been. That stuff all got archived on TF Wiki, I think. If it's Ask Vector Prime.
Archive.org has a bunch of hits. Let's see if it's just a bunch of like, we didn't get it, blah, blah, blah. Ask Vector Prime a question. There are a lot of questions on that.
No, Ask Vector Prime is something that, if it's the one I'm thinking of, it's much easier just to go look it up on your own time on TF Wiki.
Yeah. Do you love dragons? Is one of the questions. Can you boogie down?
Oh, this was fictional Vector. Yeah. So, yeah, Sideswipe Prime, there's that Ask Vector Prime, and then there's the OG Ask Vector Prime, which is children asking him questions.
When are Evac and Backstop going to be released in the stores? Why didn't you scan an Earth vehicle?
I hate them.
I have not been able to watch any television due to Hurricane Wilma. Will the Cybertron episodes be rerun?
Friggin' ancient Transformers just like, what's Hurricane Wilma?
Cybertron episodes are actually available online at hasbro.com/action. Episodes 2 to 10 are available now, and we'll add a new episode each week.
I don't
believe
Will there be
other mini-cons beside Jolt, Reverb, and 6-Speed?
I don't believe you're really Vector Prime. Oh, God. We got some evidence of the Freedom Fries era. This was specific. I'm not going to get into it, but I recall, because this just looks like, goofy, haha, Bush era America. But I remember this was in response to like a very specific political scenario that had happened, and it was incredibly stupid. And I'm not going to make Americans relive this right now, but I just remember, if you want to ever look it up, if I recall correctly, this was not even just some like really broad like, you know, hoo-ah thing. Like this came from some very specific thing.
Yeah, it was. What was it? It was like France didn't want to join in on one of the like going after Afghanistan, like the first round of one of those, or some nonsense.
Yeah.
So it became like yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. They weren't getting in
Iraq,
on the Iraq thing, and so everyone was like, "Well, then we're not going to eat French fries anymore." And it's like, okay. Oh, logo says the ask page will load.
Okay, I didn't even try. Oh, that click. £100 Look, I mean, I know that you're all metric up there, but come on. At 8 years old.
Attention parents, please note that no personally identifiable information is requested. If you have any questions, please read our online privacy policy. Submit. I assume my question went in. Archer Monster, hello! I am Vector Prime. Did you see my question? You can answer my question. Oh boy.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions, dude. Like, that's why I was chuckling. I was scrolling through that.
When will Transformers toys be available in stores? Any of them? Do you know Alpha Q? Yes.
I'll fuck you. I mean, Alpha Q. I mean, no, hold on. Yes.
Hey, Covenant of the Primes, eat it. Are you related to Optimus Prime? Optimus Prime and I are not really related, but we share the name Prime because that is a name given to Autobots with important jobs. What are the 13 Primes? I don't know. Never heard of them.
No, there is a 13 Primes thing in there.
Oh, is there?
Where it's like, the Fallen, we don't talk about him because of the evil or something.
Oh. Is Override from the Speed Plant a girl? Yes. This reads like...
She has robot boobs and everything.
Do you sleep? How many swords do you have? I really only have one sword that I use. Are you really one of the first 13 Transformers? Yes. Oh, this is tragic for the Beardbot crew. Do you shave your mustache? Fortunately, I do not need to worry about shaving because I do not really have a mustache. It is the articulation in my facial plates that you see. Sadness.
Hair is a biological construct and is absolutely revolting to robots. We try not to bring it up, but, you know, you just did. You weird thing.
Cena Nuva, yes, she is a girl, then went on to be half of Ask Vector Prime for the next 2 decades. Do you know anything about the movie? Go to the website.
I've got time travel powers, but they only go in reverse, so I've not seen it yet either.
I'm not telling you what happens in the movie. What's the next Transformers series? Even I cannot predict the future. Then what's the point of the time travel power? Sideways is a tricky villain. Alright, these are fun. Will Transformers Cybertron air in Australia? Yes, in time. Our story will be told all over this planet you call Earth. Dang.
It should have been done in like the upside down font though.
Yeah.
Because, Australia.
You're the time guy! Alright, first two Botcon... Yeah, Botcon showed everything. First two Botcon guests to be announced on Monday.
Gotta drip it out.
Collection showcase of Snk Eyes 069. Wonder what that means.
Nice.
Oh, so that's why Prime applying some toy hacks, repro labels to Transformers, Generations, Age of the Primes. Unknown Minicon robot mode. Who knows? It's an eBay link. The eBay leak era is returned once again.
Yeah. They plugged that. See, this is what happened. They said, hey, we found this leak. We're going to plug the leak. And then what happened is the tub filled up slightly higher to 8 different leaks.
Yeah. They're just popping out of different parts of the pipe now.
Yeah.
More music videos. It's a shame these are all gone. Oh, Napoleon Jr. did an Evanescence AMV of Primus waking up in Galaxy Force. That is perfect. Pepsi Prime, the choice of a new generation. So this is the announcement for the bottle towing version of Pepsi Prime.
Mm-hmm. I ended up with a U.S. and Japanese version of that.
I have a U.S. version because they had so many of them at that Botcon.
Yeah. She was like, please, 20 bucks?
They were in like their own room, weren't they?
We'll give you... Yes, they were in their own room. With...
So funny.
Wasn't that like they had some of the movie vehicles in there or something?
Yeah, it was this giant empty room.
It was like Hasbro's table, and they were just like, please take these.
Because they were in the middle of the room, so they were like as far from any wall as possible, and they looked like so isolated.
Yeah. That's why I remember like, please.
Yeah. All they had was just like a billion copies of US Pepsi Prime. Wow, okay. August 22, first test shot leak images of Cybertron Primus in planet mode. This is... Dang, I forgot how heavy this stuff was. First two Botcon guests, Wally Burr and Michael Chain. It's constantly getting double reported.
Mm-hmm. Because you had to hit it. Yeah, it's Joe and Super Megatron.
Yeah. There's a Botcon exclusive cover to issue number 0 of IDW. New Beast Wars Waspinator test shots. That's... Yeah, this is from the 10th anniversary line, if it's show accurate. This goes from the 21st to... Ooh! Aaron, let's finish up August.
Okay.
I bet we can do that. G1 Soundwave in Galaxy... Okay.
Yeah, these are more like...
It's a cute Easter egg.
We needed it something. Yeah.
Let's see. Number 0, sneak preview review. Star Wars, Transformers Toy, and Target Computers. Still no name. Rebel Scum doing a lot of work for us this year.
Mm-hmm.
Infiltration number 0, preview online at Newsarama. Runaway Verity Carlo absconds with a mini computer. I remember this.
Yeah. And also, this is number 0 of the record-setting IDW comic, not Dreamwave, IDW.
Mm-hmm. That's right. The chart-topping IDW comic book.
Chart-topping. Chart-topping. That's...
As of June 2005. KB Toys to exit they're still here! KB Toys to exit Chapter 11 bankruptcy by the end of August. Very minor Botcon update.
Year and 8 months after it received bankruptcy protection after being bloodied in the brutal price competition brought on by Walmart's aggressive pricing during the holiday. Yes, because it was one holiday season of aggressive pricing that took out KB Toys, not venture capitalism.
Yeah. Well, we didn't know yet. You know, we took all of this at face value. Surely they're all telling the truth. So it looks like they've got instruction scans up for Botcon, and they don't have the new heads on the CADs and the instruction scans or whatever, or vector images, I should say. Wally Burr offering a whole lot of stuff, thanks to the Master Collector email that just arrived. Yeah, we're getting a better look at the Primus prototype. So this stuff was all scooping... Oh, I see. This stuff was all scooping everything even back then. It's like, demonstrably, they're probably going to reveal Primus at Botcon. I assume. I can't remember anymore. But test shots all over the place right now. Canadian Transformers Con 2006 has been announced. Galaxy Force Soundwave. Galaxy Force Soundwave, I remember, came out in such proximity to Botcon 05. Someone had one overnighted to sell in the dealer room, is what I remember. Because there was one there. Cartoon Network removing Transformers Cybertron from the Saturday night time slot. So knowing Cartoon Network, you can probably catch new episodes of Cybertron in an incorrect order every Tuesday morning at 3:46 a.m., which can and will be repeated by continual repeats of Teen Titans. This is coming off of the Energon era. People were trying to just watch Energon. New pick of the Devastator prototype of the Devastator statue by Palisades. Energon downshift, who everyone in the dog knows is an homage to G1 Wheeljack.
Here to see what... Oh, that's not a post that works.
What were the SWAT repaints? I remember those names, sort of. Was that wasn't Cybertron Defense, was it?
No. Those were the black and white, like, police paint looking ones, I want to say.
Yeah, because that was separate.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? Hurricane Katrina came by at the end of August 2005.
Oh, yeah.
A portion of the city of New Orleans now under 12 feet of water in some parts. So yeah, we have now crossed the threshold of Hurricane Katrina having occurred in the news. The last time we did this, it was for the tragedies of September 11th. Actually, the last time we did this, it was for the 7/7 bombings. We just read it earlier.
Well, no, I think this is us, TFW pointing people at, like, the Red Cross website.
Oh, okay.
This is like a skip a toy, make a donation.
Right. And yeah, some more of the Bush Jr. Legacy. Takara Red Exilion.
Old Brownie was doing a good job in Nolans.
This is red repaint. Okay, so there's Takara Red Exilion, and then Hasbro announced a red repaint of Hotshot, similar but different from Takara's version. And they were, I forgot if it was like a flame deco or something, but they looked different from each other.
Yeah.
Cybertron Soundwave Test Shot finds its way onto eBay. New sponsors at TFW: Styling Online, Big Bad Toy Store, Green Pig Toys, a Canadian Specialty store, Action HQ, Bills, Toys, and Games, and Repro Labels.
So, fun story. Let's see how many of these work. So let me go from the top here, so I do it right. Silent Online works. Silent Online exists. That link doesn't work because that's store.yahoo Silent Online. Big Bad link still works. Green Pig Toys is hosting provider. Action HQ Lander parked free courtesy of GoDaddy. Bill's Toys and Games. That one doesn't work. Wonder what's up with that.
Yeah.
Repro Labels, Jumps Toy Hacks.
All right. Yeah, Ronnie pointing out, by the way, new to the rotation is Big Bad Toy Store. They would proceed to never leave.
Yeah. Hey, man, like I said, I remember early, say 06, 07 Botcons where it was still like Joel of Big Bad Toy Store and like two other people running a table that was just the whole length of a dealer room.
Yeah, it was enormous.
That had like, maybe it was an earlier show where it was like printer pages B, printer page I, printer page G, that sort of like, I need to print out a sign type of sign.
Well, Bill's Big Bad Toy Store, in that era of Botcons would also bring almost their entire inventory. So like, that's where I bought my Hurricaneger DX mecha, was at an early Botcon.
They would empty the warehouse into like 2 trailers.
Yeah.
And bring it because
that's where I got my Go Rai Senpujin.
They weren't fulfilling any orders that weekend by any stretch.
Mm-hmm. And I remember, if I recall correctly, we had a mutual, forgot who it was now. Somebody bought a Soul of Chogokin Dan Kuga from them at a Botcon. Like, they would just bring everything. It was fun because, like, at the time I didn't really get to see a lot of those sort of toy lines in person. So I would be like looking for Transformers, but then also like looking all the cool stuff Big Bad brought. Also the SD Transformers statue contest. To which Valkaisa said, "Oh, the SD statue contest." I don't remember this at all. Dan Kuga from Kamen Rider Kuga, you got me. Hyper Hobby TV Magazine TV Boy TV Boy. That is Terebi-kun magazine, if I recall correctly. Beast Machine's complete series to be released on DVD in November. Michael and Brian Dobson announced for Botcon 2005, during which didn't they get all the Dobsons, or is that all of them? I thought there was a third Dobson. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't remember.
But that's I remember them from the Awkward dinner. Where they were doing like Shakespeare in character, but because of the era, outside of Starscream, most of the character voices just sounded like dudes. So I couldn't really tell what was going on. The Vector Prime answers, and Lucky Draw, Flame Convoy, Skylinks Edition, Gallery from Transformers at the Moon. That, I guess, September 3rd, 2005. We're cruising now.
Yeah.
This is a good break point because that means next stream we're also going to run into Botcon 2005.
It's amazing what happens when we don't have an hour and a half long sidetrack that gets its own chapter mark.
Valkais, this SD statue thing, this was the Ultra Magnus breaking the Matrix statue. You know, where he's like holding the Matrix and like he's like because the Matrix like broke.
Yeah, I
remember that. Rolliker, I do appreciate a good other mecha stuff table at a Transformers Con. No, I think it's key. It's very imperative.
It's something that like early TF cons were massive about.
Yeah.
Like the first day would be TF Con, and then the second day would be 80s Toy Expo, and you saw friggin' everything then.
Yeah. Also, it was Flames. This is Hasbro Red Exilion, and this is Japanese Galaxy Force Red Exilion. So this one much more hotshot red with flames. This one much more classic Rodimus looking colors.
Oh yeah, Logos with the.
Yeah, classic Big Bad. It's Joel. And yeah, here is the SD statue in question that we're talking about. Was there a weird saga around this statue? Because now that I'm looking at it, I'm like starting to have recollections about like something odd, but I don't remember what.
I also feel like there's something odd.
Yeah.
Because that one where it was another one of those where it was ordered and then it took forever? Or is it... Because I remember there was one of these statues that was a similar low production, kept falling off the back of the schedule type thing that took forever to get. And there was another one that was... Like
we'll see it
damage
eventually
to it or something. Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
There was another one of these like end run of statues being there all the time, where it was like every one of them had a certain thing broken in the box, basically.
Mm-hmm. No, there was some saga around the statue because I remember like being bummed out because I loved the way it looked, and there was a bunch of stink that was growing around it on the boards, but I forgot what precisely happened. Run Lane, this one only had 1,100 made with 100 of those in Diaclone colors. Okay. But yeah, September 3rd is our current breakpoint with the Skylinks Gallery. Yeah, I am confident that we will finish 2005 before TFCon happens next month. And I am still enjoying myself going through these because we just keep getting so much funny pop culture along the way, and making the thumbnails is also fun for me because like I'll just look up stuff, right? Like show me June 2005. But did you know that Batman Begins came out during all this news too?
That's good to know.
Yeah, that came out in America on June 15th, 2005. So all this news is happening just as people are starting to make the very first jokes about the Christian Bale Batman voice. This is when Pray to Me was the big one.
Mm-hmm.
Ronnie Lane. Oh, okay. After years of pre-production oh, do you mean Batman? Or I was gonna say, if you mean the statue, maybe that's what I'm remembering. But yeah, for those who haven't looked at the thumbnails, they're, give them a glance if you want to. I fill them with magazines from roundabouts the month we're starting at. This one had a Scientific America magazine cover that asserted confidently that the preservation of life is here thanks to cryostasis. And I kind of was looking at this 20-year-old cover going like, I don't think this panned out the way they're presenting it. What else was there? There was a bunch of stuff. Oh, I can't see my own thumbnail. I gotta go to my folder. I always put a Garfield strip in because they come up in the image search quickly. Yeah, Scientific American. Suspended animation. The preservation of life is no longer a fantasy. And I'm like, so we were selling this stuff with this kind of like BS-y tone even back then. Like some new advance. Here, I found the thumbnail I made. Put it into a viewable spot. Vogue, if you want to see 20 years younger Kate Blanchett. Something about the Time magazine cover I found chilling. Because we know what's
3
coming.
years before everything just explodes.
Yeah, where it's like, we're going gaga over real estate. Will your house make you rich? And I'm like, is this how it started?
This is when it was maybe a little bit more out and about and visible.
And then the Shonen Jump one, mostly because it says at the top, Naruto is coming to TV. I was like, And yeah, the Garfield strips are also consistently not funny at all, which is why I keep putting them in. And I think, so Shark Boy and Lava Girl 3D also popped up when I put in movies June 2005. So I just put it there because I thought it was funny to stick that on Batman's forehead. If that's incorrect, I don't care. But, anyway, I have fun making those thumbnails. They take. I try to restrict them to take no more than 10 minutes to make, if possible. But yeah, that Time magazine cover really, I was like... Also, at the very top, why Deep Throat came out and Iran's 20-somethings. The Iran's 20-somethings also made me go, like, as someone else mentioned earlier, like, oh boy, time is a circle.
Yeah.
Oh no. But yeah, Aaron, any other thoughts coming to your mind? Anything that you're any neurons reconnecting? How you feeling about where we're at?
Feeling good. I was concerned with our last trip through time, as we barely got through a month, and this time we got through one easily and into another. So
yeah, no, we got this. We got a good
July,
pace.
Yeah, we got this. So long as we can do this pace. If it's the other pace, we get a little bit shakier.
Well, like we said last stream, if an emergency happens, we always have the lobby. Unless Colin puts us on at like 9 a.m. on Friday, in which case we go like, Colin, why do you hate us so much? But yeah, unless you have anything else you want to throw in here, I'll throw the QR code up.
No, I think I'm good.
Go. It's right up there.
Yeah, QR code. If I make my 1500 goal, I do the Dahireen shot. If our team makes their big goal, I'll do it. You can, on my page, which you can scan that code and then go to team page and go to mine. Still have Dice Goblins available. I've got the last of the Andy Roos Gaming Game dice.
Oh, those are still around.
I still have, I think I've got 11 sets of 4 left.
Okay. Those dice are actually quite nice.
And then I have the question of if I ever order any more dice, or if I just let that go, since I don't have a good in-person way to go through dice nearly as much as I used to.
Yeah.
Or I also have a Dance Monkey Dance, where you can, like, say a game I have to play for a half hour on game day.
Also, game day is still quite a ways away. Like,
yeah, we're still like
I keep forgetting.
5 months out, a little under 5 months out.
Yeah,
I will have Gen Con coming up, where I'll be at the Extra Life booth. I think only for one shift. I think they had a bunch of people volunteer.
When is Gen Con again?
Gen Con is July 31st through August 3rd.
Oh damn, you're doing that like 2 weeks after TFCon.
Yeah.
Like, well, two weeks and a bit, I guess.
Yeah. I still haven't bought my badge because I might be doing other volunteer stuff and getting a badge, but nobody's getting back to me, and then I'm looking at like badges selling out, and I have that kind of like
yeah, it's not like TFCon where like you kind of can reliably just like sort it out on the day.
Yeah.
They should get back to you about that. They should know better.
Yeah.
I'll take it easy, Lee. And yeah, here I just for those who want to, here's the Demi-Vangelist code still running. Yeah, Aaron, I can let you go if you want to.
Yep.
Retire for the eve.
Yep. Take care.
I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
I'll pop the name off so I can see that visually when I go to put in the rudimentary chapter markings. Hang on a second. I just got to go make sure I exit that call. I wanted to shout out some folks. I need to go into my dashboard to do it. I wanted to say I got a whole bunch of help with chapter markings on the Newsdives. There's a block of them that I really want to make sure I'm finding and crediting the right person, because it was a bunch of them. Where are we at? VikaValory. How many of them were there? It was like, what, one? Yeah, like numbers 11 through 13, 10 through 13. Pop Culture Hero as well on number 13. But yeah, VikaValory on numbers like 10 through 13 was a great help, and I wanted to specifically thank you, because like that was enough to spur me to actually go through. There's still a few of them that need help. I think I wrote down somewhere. Yeah, I wrote down the ones that still need some assistance. But I went through all of them and cleaned up the fronts and backs with chapter markings as well. I believe I nailed all of them with credits to everyone who shared chapter markings in the description. And let me just pull up the ones that, in case anyone does feel really eager, the ones that still don't have any detailed chapter markings from the Newsdive series are Newsdives 6, 7, and 8, as well as 15. Those 4, I think, still have large blocks without much detail, in case anyone just feels like going through and calling stuff out. As always, you know, whatever you want to do, even if you just see one thing that you like, it still helps, because it can help me like spot where we did stuff. But no, that was huge, especially on the part of VikaValory, so thank you very much. Other small updates I can give about what we're doing here right now. I've been very active in the last 2.5, 3 days. Nothing is up demonstrably, but I got a bunch of filming done. I got some scripting done. I got audio recorded. So the way my brain is right now is I've got like 4 reviews all spinning at the same time, and I'm just jumping around between the ones that I'm the most interested in. So I'm filming like chunks of Dia Battles V2 at a time. That one's very daunting, but I've got through a hunk of it now. Studio Series 86 Bone Crusher, still likely the next review, because that one is almost entirely filmed. But I also recorded audio for SS86 Bumblebee, and I've started writing a script and have recorded at least half the footage for Adamus Machina Rodimus, who I want to have go up, you know, amidst this rush of work and energy that I suddenly had this week. So those are all things that are happening on the channel. I also have another PowerPoint night ready to go, but I want to put up a review before I put up another PowerPoint night, because that's my brain. Yeah, that's for the most part, those are the updates. Other than that, thank you all for hanging out for another news dive. I should probably proceed to my own wind down soon, because guess what I haven't done yet? I haven't eaten dinner yet. And my biology is starting to do that thing where it's like, hey, do I just start self-digesting? I ate food today. I just didn't eat dinner yet. I have some leftovers that I can have. But I just gotta pull up this and set this down to here. You go there, and then we pull you in there. Hey, thanks for checking out the stream. Once again. Hope that you're all able to, you know, be there for the next one, or check out the VOD for the next one, or if you're watching the VOD right now, hi, you're near the end. But yeah, I don't know when I'll next be on streaming, but I'm gonna try to get like another Elden Ring thing going, just so I can get my rhythm back in that game, because I want to get, I don't even need to beat the DLC, I just want to get to the DLC. That's still the goal. So I'm gonna start popping on that one a bit more. And as I said, there's a couple things, a couple plates spinning and in the hopper or whatever they call it. Yeah, I want to have a bunch of stuff come out before TFCon if possible, and a bunch of stuff half done before TFCon, so it's easy for me to gel right back in to what I want to do afterwards. Irons in the fire. I forgot about that one. Thank you, Simeon Scott. That's actually a better phrase. Yeah. The only other thing to say is, if something strikes you as cool in one of these streams, leave a comment with a time code. You can leave it doesn't all have to be in the same one. You can leave plenty if you like. Engagement me all that you want. fool. And I'll catch you later. So take care of yourself as best you can. Give yourself some solace. Give yourself the chance to treat yourself well. And selfishly and with a great deal of arrogance, I demand your survival.
Let them come.